beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name's Vanessa and I. I'm the proud author of 3 tarot and oracle decks, and of course your favorite psychic here on YouTube. So guys, in today's ultra personalized, super accurate pick a card tarot readings, we're going to figure out all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. That's right, my beautiful unicorn family. With the help of these gorgeous tarot decks and other divination tools, we will be revealing hidden messages as well as synchronicities that will surprise you but were meant for you. And you guys know the style of my pick a card tarot readings is exclusive to my channel, where during the first round you get to pick from 4 groups, and then once you've received part 1 of your prediction, you get to scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to the second, even more personalized part of your reading. This makes for a highly personalized and interactive tarot reading, which puts you in charge of your prediction. So let's get into it, shall we? The 4 groups that I have prepared for you today are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Tazama African Tarot, as well as the following sound. Group number 2 corresponds to the Tarot in Wonderland, as well as the following sound. Group number 3 corresponds to the Pink Pain Tarot deck, as well as the following sound. And group number 4 corresponds to the Tarot of Curious Creatures, as well as the following sound. And as usual, the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. And if you like this video and my channel and you find it fun, relaxing, as well as healing, make sure that you don't forget to subscribe, as well as give this video a thumbs up. That way you let the YouTube multiverse know that this is a video that's helpful. And that greatly helps my channel so I can provide you with more readings. But I want to keep this intro short, sweet, and to the point so we can get straight into your predictions about all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So know that the fact that you're here is meaningful. It is a sign that you are meant to receive these messages. And I'll be getting straight into the readings, starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Tazama African Tarot deck. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, as well as signs of the zodiac, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading on all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. You chose the Tazama African Tarot deck in order to help guide you through your reading. I do have some messages that we will reveal. We've got some inspirational ones, as well as some affirmations for you specifically that you need to hear, group number 1. But now let's move into the first part of this prediction before your zodiac portion, right, which you will receive after this first part of your pick a card tarot reading. So let's see what your guides and spirit has to say about these hidden messages that must be revealed to you right now that you really need to hear. So we've got the 6 of Pentacles, as well as the 9 of Pentacles. Wow, I can see here that when it comes to things in the earthly realms, especially finances, I can see that the more you give, the more you receive. That's basically the gist of this. But let me get you a little more acquainted with these cards. Now, group number 1, let's talk about the 6 of Pentacles in more detail, shall we? So the 6 of Pentacles is a card of resources and knowledge, as well as power. So as you can see here, you're the one distributing resources. You're the one giving time, energy, effort, maybe even financial aid to other people. So this could be you donating or helping out family members. And I can see here that a message that needs to be revealed to you is that your generosity will be rewarded tenfold. That's one thing that I see here within the 9 of Pentacles, which is a really favorable card when it comes to finances, when it comes to your situation, situation with money. I can see here in the Nine of Pentacles that through being very disciplined and at the same time making room and space for other people in your life, you're definitely inviting in more abundance than you ever expected, group number one. And it's important for you to have this message revealed to you now so you know that you're on the right track. Even if your kindness is sometimes seemingly mistaken for weakness, or some people try to take advantage of the fact that you are caring, it is important for you to not allow those instances and situations to harden you. Now let's look at what hidden message we've got here behind inspiration for you. So this message that was meant just for you, group number one, is as follows. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you, by Anne Lamott. Take some time to unplug today. Turn off your phone, shut down your computer, and reflect on your energy level. How do you feel? Do you need to prioritize yourself more today? So that's the inspiration that was meant just for you. Be inspired to figure out where your energy levels are. It's funny how on our laptops and on our phones, maybe even on the device that you're watching this reading on right now, you can see exactly how much energy is left. You can see the exact percentage, or you can see how high or how low the bar is. You can tell when you need to plug it back in. But when it comes to your own personal energy, group number one, it may be a bit more difficult for you to really know when you have to detach from certain things in the world, whether it be work, drama with family members, or love, and when you have to just unplug and take time to recharge. That can be a little more difficult for you to figure out. But I do see here that an important message that you need to receive is to unplug more frequently than you actually think that you need to, group number one. So give yourself more time to rest, more time to recuperate, and to just shut down your computer and turn off your phone, even if it's difficult. Actually, the more difficult it is, the more you know that you really need this. Next up, we've got the Wheel of Fortune for you. Now, in the Wheel of Fortune, one thing that I can see here is that there's a lot of movement that's going on, and I see that there's a turning point coming for you. And this turning point has to do with the affirmation that we have up here that you are meant to hear. This is specifically for you, group number one. Let's see what we've got from your guides. We are all more blind to what we have than to what we have not. Take a few moments to note a gift or opportunity that you have been ignoring or taking for granted, and give thanks from your heart. So I see a big turning point coming for you, group number one. The more you notice what's already in your life, the more you will actually attract new things into your life. And that's why your reading is really based on things that are a little bit more earthly. I see that you've got hidden messages meant just for you that have to do with your health, your time, and your financial resources, because your mindset is everything when it comes to that. And I see here that there are a few things that you've maybe taken for granted that if you just turn your attention on them, group number one, you will actually find that there is so much happiness and joy in that, and all of a sudden you'll be able to manifest more effortlessly. So maybe you have been taking for granted that you have the opportunity to access anything through the internet, or that you've got a roof over your head every single day, no matter what may be going on in other areas of your life or how difficult it is. You've got food, you've got your basic needs that are met, or most likely met if you're able to watch this video, group number one. So I do want you to know here with the Wheel of Fortune, as well as your affirmation, that the more you celebrate these things that seem mundane or seem kind of so normal in our society, the more you will actually find that your life just feels so amazing and fortunate. And that makes people flock towards you. That makes you an attractive person to be around when it comes to business, when it comes to love. It just overall increases how people see you in a really positive way. It gives you this energy and vibration that's really unmatched by those around you who aren't practicing such radical mindfulness and gratitude. Next up, we've got the Knight of Cups as well as the Strength card. Ooh, this is a very interesting combination. Within the Strength card for you, group number 1, I can see here that your inner strength, patience, and compassion is what needs to be revealed to you during your journey, during your time in these next couple weeks and months. And I see that the person who's really challenging you is the Knight of Cups. So think someone who has strong water sign placements within their birth chart. So they may be a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancerian. They're someone who's slightly mysterious. They're roughly around your age, and maybe you feel as though they are hot and cold. You don't really know how to read them. They're not really giving you very clear signs and signals. And I see that the hidden message here is that some connections and relationships, group number 1, have been put in your life in order to, I don't want to say test you, but to just be here for a season to show you how strong that you truly are on the inside. Now, I want to move on to this affirmation, to this hidden message that you need to receive, group number 1, so we can figure out more deets. So self-compassion is simply giving the same kindness to ourselves that we would give to others. Reach out to a loved one you trust for advice. Now, in connectivity to the Strength card and the Knight of Cups, I do also see here that there are people in your life that you take immaculate care of, group number 1. And that's amazing. That's awesome. That's generous. I can see that here in the Six of Pentacles. You're very trustworthy when it comes to money, finances, resources. People know that they can trust you with their life, basically, or their life savings. And I do see here that when it comes to compassion that you have for others and the type of giving energy that you have for others, you have to apply that to yourself too. I see here that a hidden message that's meant just for you that you've maybe been neglecting for a long time. That's what I see here within this little infinity symbol that we have in the Strength card. It's important for you to reach out to a loved one right now that you trust for advice, but also to give yourself that same kindness and time and compassion that you would give to other people, group number 1. You can't constantly give other people chances and give other people options and kind of forget about yourself in the process of doing that. Next up, we've got the Devil reversed. So in the Devil reverse, I can see that your attitude towards material things is changing. I can definitely see here within the Devil that materialism is something that you're moving away from. You don't want to be ignorant about the things that you purchase and the items that you spend your hard-earned money on. You want to support smaller businesses. You want to support businesses that are eco-friendly. You want to ensure that you're no longer buying into trends or just name brands where there's not really much else there, right? It's just something that gives you either social status or that makes you fit in. I see here within the Devil reverse that you're doing an excellent job at just being yourself and kind of reevaluating the relationship that you have with the material realm and actually fostering a healthy relationship with money and material things, with items. You're completely reevaluating materialism and your core values and what's important to you, and you're no longer sucked in by glittery, glitzy things. For you, it's really important to get to the bottom of anything that's in your life, especially if it's a material object. I see here in the Ace of Swords that an important hidden message for you is that this transformation and this type of illumination and almost, I would say, moment of enlightenment is so imperative to the next months and years of your life and is much needed. But don't be hard on yourself for the journey that was yours to get to this point. We all go through phases of insecurity or of wearing certain things, speaking certain ways, carrying ourselves in certain manners, maybe even purchasing items of clothing and brands to fit in. And I think we all go through moments where we realize that maybe this just isn't us and it's not worth putting ourselves in this situation just to impress people who don't really care, who don't really have our backs. So figuring out what is truly important to you, and at the core, that being close friends and family and people who you can truly count on, and ultimately quality over quantity when it comes to any types of relationships, when it comes to any connections with other people. I see here within the Hanged Man that a message that was kept hidden from you until now that's meant for you is to just hold tight when you feel as though someone is really pushing your buttons or trying to get to you. Try to give yourself space whenever there is someone that triggers you so that you can react in a way that you can feel proud of later on. And a great way to practice this and to be in control of your emotions, group number one, is of course to unplug, like we spoke about here, with the type of inspiration that you're meant to receive in your hidden messages. I see here within the Nine of Swords that there's a lot going on mentally, and you have to give yourself a little mental break too, group number one. This is a hidden message that had to be revealed to you because maybe you have been pushing your body and your mind beyond its limits, but now Spirit and your guides, they want to tell you to just take a little step back, to unplug, and also to remind yourself of just how far you've come to be where you are right now, just how much effort you've put in throughout the years, and that's worth celebrating as well, group number one. So don't take anything that you've accomplished for granted. This is the first part of your prediction that I've received for you, group number one. If you made it to the end of this and you enjoyed it, leave a little rose emoji below in the comment section. Can you see these roses here that surround this lion and the strength card? Leave a rose emoji below to let me and others know that you chose group one in order to receive the first part of your super personalized prediction. But now scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, and you will be fast forwarded to part two of the hidden messages that were meant just for you, group number one. So I can't wait to catch you all at your individual zodiac signs portions of your tarot reading. I'll speak to you in a second. Hello, group number two. Welcome to your first part of your prediction about all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So I, of course, have our Tarot in Wonderland tarot cards prepared for us. This is the group that you chose, but we also have a few messages that were meant just for you that we're going to uncover as we delve deeper into your reading. It is a glorious Sunday morning here in Switzerland, and the earth is dewy. Our guides are here. They're present. Let's get into figuring out exactly what hidden messages need to be uncovered by you right now. So we've got the Star. Now, all of my beautiful souls of group number two, in the Star, I can see here that a hidden message that had to be uncovered for you is to never lose hope and to never feel as though you're dreaming too big. A big part of the Star card, which is actually a major arcana card, is a reminder to seek inspiration wherever you find that connection. Whether you feel inspired through spending time with friends and family, through watching nature documentaries, or reading books, try to get yourself out of being too comfortable to be inspired, because sometimes we don't feel inspired, but we also don't want to put in the effort to seek out inspiration. So that's where I can see here within the Star that this is a message that you must receive, group two. Then we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and I also want to uncover the affirmation that was meant just for you. So I will start off with the Queen of Pentacles, which is the queen of all things in the earthly realm. Think your health, your time management, your finances, your career. I see here here within the Queen of Pentacles that we've got a very nurturing and down-to-earth type of energy that's radiating from you. And in connection to the star, you're being asked to never give up on the version of yourself that you envision in your mind that you would be so proud to be a year, 5 years down the line. If you think of who you want to be in the future, group number 2, that is so attainable. If you can think it, you can believe it, and you can be it. Let's move into your affirmation that was meant just for you, shall we? So your affirmation goes a little something like this. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorns have roses. By Alphonse Carr. Think about some recent thorns you've encountered. What are the roses attached to them? So life is, of course, full of ebbs and flows, ups and downs, cycles that are difficult and cycles that feel like they go by with ease. And here you are being asked to think about a time in which there was difficulty, but at the same time, something amazing came out of it. You may have had difficulty studying for a test or, for example, keeping up with work, but in the end, it was all worth it because you passed, you got your diploma, your degree, you got that promotion, or you still have a job that is helping you pay for your day-to-day life. And in order for you to have the basic necessities that you need. And with thorns come roses, and with roses come thorns, because sometimes things are going seemingly well, but then you realize that you're maybe a little out of touch with reality, or maybe a moment feels so good and so healing, and the thorn is that it's eventually going to end, that nothing lasts forever. So that is where I can definitely see here that a hidden message that had to be revealed is for you to be reminded that everything is ephemeral. It's important for you to enjoy what's going on, to not think too far ahead, and also to just enjoy things as they are, taking the good with the bad and the bad with the good. Next up, we've got the Four of Pentacles, group number 2. So in the Four of Pentacles, a hidden message that had to be revealed to you is to be very conservative when it comes to your spending habits, and is to ensure that you're kind of keeping a lot of your resources back right now in order to be able to invest when there is an amazing opportunity. So try to be very mindful when spending money, time, and energy on projects that are not quite it, because there are a lot of great ideas, group number 2, but only few that will be truly life-changing for you and that are truly meant to be and meant to be explored. Because you can have a million good ideas, but at the end of the day, you don't have all that time and energy to focus on a million different ideas, right? You need to select the ones that you truly believe in and that you truly see hope in, like we spoke about here within the star. So be very stingy, so to say. Well, not stingy, because stingy has a bit of a negative connotation, doesn't it, group number 2? Be very mindful when it comes to where you're investing your time and your energy, and don't allow for anyone to just have access to these most sacred and finite resources. Next up, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, in the Knight of Pentacles, I can see here that sometimes you are not taking yourself as seriously as you maybe could or should. Now, this is a great thing to not take yourself too seriously, right? But I see that sometimes you feel as though other people have more validity to be in positions of power or to make big decisions, even though you have the exact same track record, you have the exact same education, the same experience, but somehow you don't feel as empowered to put yourself in a leadership position. And that's where I see here in the Knight of Pentacles that this is a hidden message that had to be revealed to you today, to feel inspired to step up to the plate and to know that you are just as deserving as anyone else to have public recognition on your side, to be celebrated for all of the hard work that you put in. I want to move into this inspiration message that was meant just for you today, group number 2. So look down at your body and whisper, "There is no home like you. Thank you." And Rupi is truly one of my favorite authors and poets, find a way to give thanks using your body. What small acts of service can you provide for others or to your surroundings? So one thing that you are definitely meant to receive as a hidden message is to simply give thanks to the fact that your body is keeping you alive. Your body is working so hard in order for you to be able to live, to experience this life. And I think in media, our bodies are often kind of made to be these inanimate things that are only kind of celebrated if they look a certain way, right? That in the end don't have much meaning other than how they're shaped, how large or small that they are, how smooth that they are, how much texture is on them. So do remind yourself here that an important message to keep in mind is that your body is so much more than what it looks like or appears to be like to others. And it was never meant to just fit into a standard that was made up by society. Your body is doing the exact job it's supposed to do. It's working its absolute hardest to keep you alive, and that is worth celebrating and worth being so grateful for. And that in itself should make you proud of your body. The Seven of Cups shows me that, of course, you've got choices, you've got options. You can look at your body as something that is imperfect or doesn't quite fit society's standards or can constantly be improved and toned and slimmed down and thickened up and made to be this thing that fits in a mold. But you can also choose to see it as a vehicle in which your soul lives and in which your soul has this earthly experience, in which your spiritual being is able to kind of navigate through this beautiful human life that you've been given. So the Seven of Cups definitely shows that you've got a lot of choices. We're not here to judge whichever choice that you make, and some days you may reduce your body to its appearance, and some days you may see so much more in it. And it's all valid, and it's all part of our learning process and getting to know ourselves. Next up, let's see what we've got for you when it comes to another affirmation that was meant just for you and needs to be revealed group 2. So let's see what Albert Einstein has to say. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. List 3 ways in which today will be miraculous. Do you know a miracle when you see one? And one thing I immediately need to say, group number 2, is that people who write down their goals are a lot more likely to reach them. So I assume that, this applies for miracles as well. The more that you actually write down what you're grateful for and write down what miracles that you see and occur within a day, even if that means you have to hype mundane things up to be miracles, do it. That just kind of amplifies the vibration of gratitude and you becoming this magnet for more things that you desire. So write down what you're grateful for. Write down 3 ways in which today will be miraculous, and in which today is just a day to be thankful for. I do also have mindfulness and gratitude journals, by the way, group number 2. They are below on my website, bowlife.com. The link is in the description box, so you can check them out if you're looking for a journal that is guided, where you can do some mindfulness practices every single day to just practice more gratitude and make that a part of your everyday routine. Next up, we've got the Sun. Now, the Sun is a super favorable card of the tarot, and in case you didn't know, the Sun is a card of greatness and enlightenment, but also support from other people, as you can see here. And the Sun kind of turns any difficult situation into a more positive one within your reading. So having this highly, highly supportive card show up within your prediction, group number 2, definitely shows here that a hidden message that needs to be revealed to you is that you've got more support than you give your life credit for. You've got more people rooting for you than you realize. You got more situations working out in your favor than you care to notice on some days. So it's very important to turn your attention back to what's there and back to what you've got to be grateful for. Nothing is perfect. Just as roses have thorns and aren't perfect and can hurt, that doesn't make them any less beautiful. So apply that to your life. Next up, we've got the strawberry. So in the strawberry, I can see here that a hidden message meant just for you is that agreement is something that you don't have to force. So if you don't agree with another person, don't try to force just saying, oh, well, you know, I agree with you, or I'm choosing to just avoid conflict by being in agreement. Agreement is something that you give when you truly mean it, and otherwise you can just agree to disagree. Don't worry about making other people mad or sad or just kind of rubbing others the wrong way. Group number 2, remind yourself here that agreement should always be authentic and is something that should only come into play when you truly deeply mean it and feel it. I see here within the cauliflower that we're going through a transitional period of more honesty that's coming from you, and that's not easy for some people. The cauliflower also corresponds to the master number 11, and this is a number of leadership, of not being afraid to stick out like a sore thumb. Maybe you're already the black sheep of your family. Group number 2, and the thing that you really need to hear, the hidden message, is to continue to be yourself, because while it may put you in positions that are sometimes difficult for you to deal with, at the end of the day, you are the one that brings a color into this world and into the different communities that you move in. Next up, we've got the daffodil. The daffodil has a very similar meaning to the star card. And within the daffodil, a hidden message that was meant to be revealed to you today is to not lose hope. Group number 2, if you're here receiving this reading and you felt hopeless before you tuned into this video, you felt like life is just such a difficult place, you don't know how it's ever going to get better, you're worried about losing motivation, about falling back into a depression, about just simply not being able to get back up or get through a dark time, do know here that these hidden messages meant to be revealed to you are messages of hope, of inspiration, of keeping your head up, of you continuing to push forward and not be afraid of what may happen. Of course, overcoming obstacles and greatness is not something that's promised in life, but at the same time, group number 2, it is something that is very possible, and lows don't last forever. Just as every high is at some point going to come back down, know that you're in a transitional period, and we've got the sun again, but this time from the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. I just love how this deck literally represents gentle hearts, right? With all the beautiful light colors and very airy type of minimalist depictions. This is my very first tarot deck that I ever published, and I'm just still so proud of this deck. It is so connected to the divine. So in the sun, we've got this message being brought up again of enlightenment, of finding yourself, of not losing hope, that you've got this sort of spiritual awakening that's coming towards you. And while there will be challenges with it, it's going to be a beautiful time for you, group number 2. And I do also see here within the sun that this is the assurance that you needed. This is the confirmation from your angels and your guides to keep going, to take some of these pieces of information and advice on board that resonate with you, but also to continue going and to not give up. You're just about to turn a corner to a place of absolute vitality, warmth, happiness, and support. Next up, we've got the Knight of Diamonds reversed. Now in the Knight of Diamonds reversed, we basically have the Knight of Pentacles, but now reversed. So do know here that finding yourself in a place of more confidence and of more authority is what's going to lead you to that next level of success when it comes to your finances, but also your studies, just overall your professional life and the aspirations that you have when it comes to your job. So don't be afraid to take credit where credit is due, and also to take up space, especially if you are a person of color, if you are a person who is struggling with mental conditions or maybe physical conditions that make life a little bit more challenging than some others may experience it. Put yourself in a position where you can be seen, where you can inspire, and where people can realize, even though you would have more than enough reason to be in this victim mode and victim mentality, that's just not you, group number 2, and it's never going to be you. And that's something to be proud of, and that's something to communicate to the outer world, as that helps inspire others to see that even coming from a background that you come from, sky's the limit. And if you just believe in yourself, you can make so much out of this lifetime. Now, group 2, leave a sun emoji below in the comment section, as we had the sun show up twice within your prediction, which is, as mentioned, one of the most positive and favorable cards of the entire tarot. Furthermore, this is part 1 of your prediction. We will now move into your zodiac signs portion of your pick a card reading. So scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, click your zodiac sign, and I'll catch you during part 2 of your highly personalized prediction. Welcome to the first part of your tarot reading, group number 3. You chose the Pink Pain Tarot deck in order to help guide you through your prediction about the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So in this ultra personal and accurate zodiac-based tarot reading, we're going to get into some messages that we've got up here that were meant for you, as well as some intuitive ones that we're getting into simultaneously before we move into part 2, which would be your zodiac signs prediction. But first, let's chill and hang out in this first little space where we'll figure out all the messages that were meant just for you that need to be revealed right now. First up, we've got the 7 of Pills. Now, the 7 of Pills is also known as the 7 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, but this is obviously a really fun and different tarot deck. So the 7 of Pills shows us here that there is a reward that's coming towards you, but this reward is only coming towards you because of a directional change that you're going towards. And this is in your personal life when it comes to your job, your health. So you will find that you get a lot of rewards once you make up your mind to change the direction that you're going in. Maybe right now, you feel as though what you're studying or the job that you're in doesn't 100% resonate with you or where you're trying to go. Maybe you feel as though you need to make some serious changes when it comes to your health, both physically and mentally. And that's where I see here in the 7 of Pills that this directional change is going to come with a lot of rewards for you. Next up, we've got the 5 of Pills. Now, the 5 of Pills here shows me that there is some sort of rejection that you will face from some people. So some people are not going to like this. I see here that a hidden message you need to receive is the fact that the bigger and more successful that things become around you, the more you will really see some people's true colors. And that's okay. That shouldn't stop you from carrying on with your successes, with your accomplishments, because at the end of the day, that is not your responsibility. It is not up to you to make other people feel comfortable around your success and your accomplishments. Now, let's see what hidden message we've got here within this reflection card. So let's see. If you aren't good at loving yourself, you will have a difficult time loving anyone, since you'll resent the time and energy you give another person that you aren't even giving to yourself, by Barbara DeAngelis. Yes. So if you're not giving yourself the time of the day, group number 3, it will be hard for you to genuinely and selflessly give to others, because you will constantly feel as though you're not even giving yourself that time. So having others receive your time and energy can definitely create and harbor resentment. And I see here that you're being called to reflect on a challenging relationship and what it taught you about yourself. Give thanks to these lessons because they've made you stronger, and they've most likely also taught you a lot about putting yourself first and understanding that you cannot make someone like you, and you cannot make someone a happier person by just being kinder or better to them. It has to come from themselves. Whether you've dealt with a difficult narcissistic parent, teacher, sibling, friend or even ex-lover. You know that at the end of the day, if someone is unhappy, if someone is letting out their anger on you, that has less to do with you and more to do with feelings that they are working through. Next up, we've got the Knight of Bottles. Steer clear of this type of person. Group number 3. A hidden message that was meant just for you is that the Knight of Bottles is someone who still needs to learn about themselves, where they're going, who they are, and how to deal with their own emotions. And it's completely okay for you to avoid certain people just in order to protect yourself and your heart. So if you are single, group number 3, avoid anyone here who has these strong water sign placements and seems to not have themselves under control. They may have certain addictions, certain patterns that they just have not worked through, and it's important that you kind of steer clear of people who have a lot of work to do on themselves right now. You don't need that. Within your inspiration card, we've got the following quote: "The universe wove you from a constellation just so every atom, every fiber in you comes from a different star. Reconnect with the creative influences you have been drawn to throughout your life and how they have affected the person that you have become." So for me personally, group number 3, some of the creative influences that have affected me throughout my life are definitely music, art, crystals, spirituality, all things in the unseen, everything mystical, and also, of course, the type of ancestry that I come from. And you may have had similar experiences or very different creative influences that have affected you and who you have become. And I can see that you're being called to reconnect, especially if you've lost touch with some of these ways in which you were able to connect and become the person who you are today. Maybe you've fallen out of love with drawing, or you haven't had a lot of time to make music like you had in the past. Try to reconnect and find back to these activities. I see here within the High Priestess that what that will actually do for you, group number 3, which is probably really unexpected, is to create a deeper unconscious awareness and to just heighten your potential overall, because it will fill you with confidence and inspiration. And the more confident and inspired that you feel, group number 3, the more you will be able to create things that are out of the ordinary, that stand out, and that kind of make you very different from the competition and from everyone else who's maybe in the same space as you're in. So your creations will have a very distinct, different vibe to them, which will, of course, help put you in a position where you are recognized as an artist, as an individual, whether that be at work or in a type of personal hobby that we were just talking about. Just know that your individuality is your biggest strength. I want to move further into your reading with your inspiration card, group number 3. Let's see what message we've got for you here. This is by the Dalai Lama. If you feel burnout setting in, if you feel demoralized and exhausted, it is best for the sake of everyone to withdraw and restore yourself. Yes, I can't agree more, group number 3. Just taking time to withdraw when you're feeling down or when you're feeling antsy, when you feel as though anything could just make you have a mental breakdown, feel burnt out, or even be mean to other people. It's best to just stay away from others. Walk to your favorite coffee shop for an afternoon pick-me-up, or brew a cup of tea as you take a few minutes to reflect and recharge. When emotions are running high, especially if you're someone who has strong fire sign placements within their birth chart, or you're just overall someone who can get emotional and those emotions can be expressed through harsh words, there's nothing wrong with the way you express it. It's just about ensuring that you do it in a sense that doesn't hurt others. You don't have to be brutal in your honesty, right? You can still be an honest person who's expressive, who says how they feel, but it's about using the right type of words. So there's nothing wrong with the fact that you express yourself, that you speak up. It's just ensuring that you do it in a way that doesn't leave you filled with regrets, and that doesn't make others feel as though they can't come towards you with their ideas, with their worries, and that allows you to be this open oasis that people can always come towards, this very fertile ground for ideas. I see here within the watermelon that a hidden message that was meant for you is to remain this person that people can trust and confide in. And I see that you do a lot of great work without even noticing it, group number 4. And this is a hidden message that was meant to be revealed to you to continue being the glue that holds friendships and maybe even your family together. I can see here within the watermelon, furthermore, that fertility is something that's in your favor at this point in your life, and it is very much essential for you to either tap into that or to make sure that you're very careful about this situation when it comes to fertility, if that's not something you're looking to further explore. I see here within the chives that when it comes to divination as well, there are a lot of messages that can be revealed to you. Divination is like your best friend. Group number 3, divination is a way in which you can connect with your guides and your highest self. And I see here within the banana that there is this sense of duality. There is a very rational you. There is a you that is methodical, that is very much rooted in, let's say, like mainstream society. And then there is a part of you that receives a lot of inspiration from divination, a lot of strength, a lot of just this innate understanding of who you are and where you're going, and of deeper wisdom without judgment. So I definitely see here that it's important for you to water both sides of your fence. That is an important message that you need to receive, because both parts of you are valid, especially if you work in a field that is a little bit more mainstream. You may work in the medical field. You may teach people. You may be someone who works in a space where the government is involved, or law. And of course, divination has a hard time really finding its kind of space. But it's important for you to know that you don't have to choose between one side of yourself and another. Of course, you don't have to share with everyone that you're into divination if your workspace or the type of professional pursuits that you're on doesn't really resonate with that. But you can still have little magical things be part of your day-to-day life and proceedings without anyone even knowing. And it's just like your little secret in order to create really fertile grounds. That could be, for example, you being the only person in your office that writes down goals and manifestations every morning, right when you get to your desk, or every time you open up a book and you start to study for the next exam. Maybe what you do first is tune into a meditation. You can bring divination into day-to-day, more mundane, or say dry practices in order to create a very fertile environment for ideas and for connection, divine connection. Next up, we've got the Six of Crystals reversed. Now, in the Six of Crystals reversed, I can definitely see here that there are some resources that are coming towards you, but they're a little bit delayed. So if you're waiting for a lawsuit or a payment to come in, group number 3, know that this is going to be a little more delayed than you expected, and that, again, a great way for you to kind of bridge that time and to manifest is through divination and little magical healing practices every single day. Next up, we've got Justice reversed. Now, Justice is a major arcana card that does show us here that you've got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, and I see here that you're kind of tired of it, you're burnt out from it, and it's important for you to just withdraw in order to restore yourself, as we spoke about here within the Dalai Lama's quote, and within the source of inspiration and affirmation for you. I see that a message that you have to receive, especially if you're someone with a lot of responsibilities in your private life or your professional life, is to sometimes step away completely, 100%. Don't make any decisions if you're in a difficult headspace or you're feeling burnt out. Simply excuse yourself and don't allow for anyone to make you feel bad for taking much needed time to yourself to recuperate. Next up, we've got the Queen of Diamonds reversed. Now in the Queen of Diamonds reversed, I can see here that this is the best thing that you can do for yourself, especially professionally speaking. Also, if your health is a little wobbly, a little shaky, taking a vacation, and also not feeling pressure to show up at work if you're simply not physically or mentally in a good space, because that will lead to further issues. And at the end of the day, group number 3, your work colleagues, your boss, they're not going to be there with you when you're at the hospital or when you're going through a mental breakdown. All they're going to do is keep pushing and pushing unless you set boundaries, because once ish really hits the fan, group number 3, you're mostly going to be by yourself or maybe with a life partner or family who would have told you to take a break way earlier anyways. And they're then the ones who are going to be caring for you when things really go south. And the people who were pushing you to keep overextending yourself, they will be nowhere to be found. So when you're thinking of pushing yourself beyond your limitations in an unhealthy way, remind yourself of who you think will be there if something really happens to you, if you really need help, if pushing yourself beyond these limits ended up in a very, very difficult situation. Would these people be there, or would they just push the next person to their limits and not really care about what happens to you? So that is an important thing for you to think of. It may seem a little dark, group number 3, but my channel is all about honesty and being real. And let's be real, in a lot of instances, this is what would happen. You would find that the people who push you the most aren't those who care, which makes a lot of sense because people who care are not going to push you past your personal limits and boundaries. Next up, we've got the Temperance card reversed. So yes, this is all about balance. This is all about temperance. This is all about slowing down, giving yourself a time. All of this is happening in reverse, right? All of these tarot cards that we've received from the beautiful, gentle heart tarot that I authored have all showed up reversed for us, group number 3, which definitely shows here that we're going to need some time to get to this space, but there's a reason why these messages were kept hidden until now. It's so that when you get to this spot of so many different projects and things going on, you've already heard it, you already know how to handle it and deal with it, and you already know to take a step back rather than feeling like you have to say yes to everything and you have to commit to all of these responsibilities. Your mental and physical health is number 1 priority, group number 3. So show the outer world that you see it as such as well. This is part 1 of the messages that you were meant to receive, group number 3. And if you enjoyed it and found it insightful, please leave a watermelon emoji below in the comment section before we move on to your zodiac signs portion of this reading. That way you can let everyone know that you chose group number 3 before moving into part 2, which is even more personalized and intricate for you. So what you need to do now is scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, click your zodiac sign, and I'll catch you during your zodiac signs part 2 of your tarot reading. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your highly personalized pick a card reading. You chose the Tarot of Curious Creatures to help guide you figure out what hidden messages were meant just for you. We also have some affirmational and inspirational messages right here that you need to hear, group number 4. So let's get into your reading. I'll of course start off with your Tarot of Curious Creatures deck so we can get straight into your prediction. So we have a card that clearly wants to speak and that clearly has something to say that was hidden but is now going to be revealed. So in the Two of Wands, we have a card that is all about boldness and being original. So one message that you need to hear, group number 4, is to not be afraid to be different, especially if you felt like you're the black sheep all your life or you've always kind of been the black sheep in your family. Express that and know that the things that make you different are most likely also your biggest wins. There are so many stories of people who have made it really far in the arts or in business, who were bullied as kids and kind of put in a box and made to feel like they weren't what they should be because they were different. But then those differences became their biggest strengths, right? Even models who were picked on for being different physically end up capitalizing off of these physical differences that they had. So know here within the Two of Wands that the things that you were maybe teased for, the things that made you feel insecure, can turn into your biggest strengths, group number 4. You're meant to hear this message. Next up, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Pentacles shows me here that the more you follow these differences and the more bold that you become, the more you will actually find that you've got this sense of self-reliance. Like, you know that if you want to accomplish something, you will get there, and there's no doubt in your mind. And when you have this type of really solid confidence, really sky's the limit for you, group number 4. I want to move into the inspiration that you need to receive. So let's get into this top quote. Some of us ran so far away during a period of survival that we forgot to come back home to ourselves. Return home to yourself. You are safe now. Take a breath and smile. You are enough. That is one of the hidden messages that we had to uncover for you, group number 4. You had to hear this right now. If you've come to this reading and you're feeling a little down, anxious, or depressed, use this as a source of inspiration and healing. Furthermore, remind yourself to just take a deep breath right now. Inhale, group number 4. No matter where you are right now, whether you're in your car, at home, in your office, take a deep breath in and smile and exhale. You are enough. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that I am enough, group number 4. And if this is the group you chose, put this little affirmation below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're not only affirming this to yourself, but you're also a part of the beautiful signs of the zodiac who picked group number 4 for the first part of their prediction in order to uncover their hidden messages. Next up, we've got the World card. This is actually one of the most favorable cards of the tarot, all of my beautiful souls of group 4. This is a card of fulfillment, of coming to a place of accomplishment, as well as just overall not really wanting for anything and having everything that you need. The World card definitely shows me here that a hidden message that you need to receive is that everything's going to be all right, group number 4. No matter how worried you may be about love, finances, your career, your health, do know here within the World card that everything will come to a point of culmination and of knowing that you've got some steady, solid things going for you. Let's pick up some affirmations that you need to receive, that need to be revealed. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. This is so true, group number 4. Forgive yourself for yesterday's mistakes. Practice gratitude for the present moment. Don't forget to apply the same type of kindness that you would give to others to yourself as well, group number 4. The kindest, most compassionate people are often those who forget to apply that same kindness to themselves. And if you're guilty of this, group number 4, forgive yourself for that mistake or for the fact that you did not feel it was necessary to extend that same kindness to yourself. But moving forward, you can do better. You can give yourself more. Vow to do so. Next up, we have another piece of affirmational inspiration for you. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. Bring your attention to your body. Where are you holding tension? Take a few moments to relax. Group 4, take a little moment right now, whether you're listening with headphones or you've got this video blown up on your computer or you're in your car. Take a little moment to just breathe into your body and sense different areas in your body where you're maybe holding tension. Is it maybe your throat? Do you feel tension in your stomach, your gut? There are so many different areas where tension can show up, and this is sometimes a sign that you need to truly take time to be content with yourself, because there's some anxiety that's stored in different areas of your body, and the only way to release that is, of course, to deal with it and to remind yourself that there's nothing to stress out about. There really aren't many things that are worth losing sleep over, group number 4. Remind yourself of this. There are very few, and if there's anything that's stressing you out, ask yourself if it is truly part of those few things that are worth losing sleep over, and you will find that in 90% of the cases, it's usually not part of that. I see here within the King of Pentacles that being assertive, really firm and picky when it comes to your time and your energy is what's needed right now. The King of Pentacles shows me here that you are in charge of what comes next in your life, especially in the earthly realms. And the Knight of Pentacles shows me that this is a position that you're growing into, this leadership position that we've got in the King of Pentacles. And it may feel a little unnatural at first to progress from the Knight to the King, but you've got this, group number 4. You've got what it takes in order to be a leader, a CEO, a manager, an entrepreneur, whatever your end goal is. Do know here that you don't need to ask for permission. You've got everything that you need within you. It's simply all about bringing out those characteristics in yourself and encouraging yourself to fully 100% be who you always knew you could be. And I see that this entails multiple different streams of income, of hobbies, just a lot of different things that are going on for you, but it's beneficial in the grand scheme. I see here that this hidden message that is meant for you is that stability comes through having your eggs in multiple baskets, not putting your eggs in just one basket, and knowing that you have diversified when it comes to your emotional well-being, right? You've got friends, you've got family. Financially, you've invested in different ventures, and maybe you've got different streams of income. And furthermore, when it comes to your health, you have different ways of staying healthy and of feeling good in your body. That's one thing that I can see here that really serves you and that makes things crystal clear. Because whenever you know that you have a sort of practice and a way to ground yourself, to get yourself back to a positive mental headspace, it is crystal clear what you need to do. You simply need to execute, group number 4. And that just gives you such a leg up on the competition when you know how to deal with yourself when you're going through intense sadness or other emotions. You know exactly what to do when things are difficult at your workplace or in your personal life. So I definitely see here within crystal clear and multiple streams that trying out different ways and putting together your own special menu and prescription of what you need to do in order to fill up your cup is exactly what you need moving forward. And this is an important hidden message that just had to be revealed for you, group 4. Next up, we've got the journey. So as you know, this is just the first part of your prediction. We'll move into your zodiac signs portion as well. So make sure that you click on the timestamp once we're done here, group number 4, because I see here within the journey that there's still tons of details to come when it comes to these hidden messages that have to be revealed for you. So in the journey, know that there's still lots ahead. The journey also corresponds to the number 8, which is a very positive number. It is not only a number of abundance and affluence, but also the kind of number of infinity, right? Of never-ending new experiences. And I see here within the 90-10 ratio of the Wild Muse Oracle deck that life is 10% of what happens to you and really 90% of how you react to it. And using this type of notion moving forward is going to help you find so much more peace and so much more of that personal equilibrium and wholeness that you've been searching for, because now your happiness is no longer in a situational predicament, now you hold the key and all the power to your happiness and your success. But this is just part one of your prediction of the hidden messages that had to be revealed for you, group number 4. And I hope that you've enjoyed them so far. If you did, leave a little globe emoji below in the comment section. But now we're going to move into your zodiac signs portion of this prediction. So scroll down into the description box or to the top of the comment section, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your reading. So I'll catch you during your zodiac signs portion of this pick a card reading. Hello, all my beautiful Aries babies, and welcome to the second, even more personalized portion of your prediction about all of the hidden messages that are meant just for you. Did you know that as an Aries baby, you are ruled by Mars, and you're said to be very outgoing as well as energetic? Now, if this applies to you, my beautiful Aries baby, leave a little flame emoji below in the comment section to represent your fire sign energy. But now, let's get into the hidden messages that were meant just for my beautiful Aries babies. First up, beauty sleep. My beautiful Aries babies, be honest. Have you been burning the candle at both ends? Have you been staying up way too late, working way too hard, and not sleeping for 8 hours each night? Maybe that's even part of your lifestyle, that you never sleep for 8 full hours a night because you either have school commitments, work commitments, or you've just got anxiety or depression that's keeping you from getting real beauty sleep. I do see here that this is a message that had to come through for you, my beautiful Aries babies. Sleep is so important and an integral part of your health. If you need a little more proof about the importance of sleep, read the book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I promise you, you will never want to miss any sleep moving forward, and there are great tips on how you can optimize your nighttime routine to get to bed early. Furthermore, the more beauty sleep that you get, the more you will be able to claim your energy and also make the most of your energy, because missing out on beauty sleep, that can really mess with your schedule, your itinerary, and your energy levels, of course, because you're just not as fired up. You're unable to focus as much as you would maybe like to, and furthermore, just not getting enough sleep might have you making decisions that you will regret later down the line. So it is imperative for my beautiful Aries babies to focus on healthy sleep routines and patterns. Your tribe is your vibe. Never forget that. Your tribe is definitely a group of people who just gets you, represents what you stand for. And if you don't feel like you have a tribe of people, and it doesn't have to be a lot of people, if you don't feel like you have 1 or 2 people in your life, because really that's all you need, just 1 or 2 people who are real friends, who are really there for you. Know that you can still find your tribe that equals your vibe later on in life. This is not something that has to happen early on. Don't feel like it's weird if you don't have a lot of friends from school, for example. I don't have very many friends that I met during my school years. I actually met some of the best people later on, as I was already on my path, as I was already following my destiny and my passions, and I met people who were on their own journey to following their very own passions. So do know that new people can come into your life at any time, my beautiful Aries babies, and those people may become more important than you ever thought that they would. Next up, in Hidden in Plain Sight, we've got the same going on here when it comes to love, as well as just strong family bonds and connections. Someone who might become a very important person in your life could just be hidden in plain sight. This could be someone who you meet every now and then at a local coffee shop. This may be someone who's a coworker. This may be a person who you just like photos of on social media every now and then, and before you know it, you're going to talk to them, get into very deep conversation, my beautiful Aries babies, and they may just become a permanent fixture in your life. But one thing about this situation is that this person is hidden in plain sight. Before I move into more oracle cards for you, why don't we figure out what this person's initials may be? Just to give you a little bit more information. You know the unicorn mother likes to provide you with as much info info as possible, my beautiful Aries baby. So let's see what letters that Spirit has for us. Spirit, give us some clarity. Okay, so we've got me, M-E, all of my beautiful Aries babies as initials for this person. So take this as a little piece of information that can help you moving forward. Next up, we've got the broccoli as well as the geranium. So I do see here within the broccoli that one important message that was meant just for you is to take the lead when it comes to friendships a little bit more. Reach out to your friends more, send them text messages, call them, ask them how they're doing. As I can see here within the geranium that there are some people around you who are going through some deep healing, so therefore they may not be in a space where they feel comfortable to reach out to you. So it's important that you reach out to them whenever you can, and of course whenever you remember. Sometimes it's great to set out a couple hours a week just to get back in touch with people who you care about and just to reconnect with people who you know may need a little bit of a pick-me-up. Next up, we've got the Kent pumpkin. All of my beautiful Aries babies, know that your productivity can improve greatly by taking care of yourself in very obvious ways. That's what I see here within Hidden in Plain Sight, and the fact that M and E, of course, correlates to me, which means you, my beautiful Aries baby. So here within the Kent pumpkin, do know here that sometimes the answers to questions are just hidden in plain sight, like how you can get better sleep. It may have to do with you not shutting off your phone or your laptop screen an hour or even more before going to bed. You know, the light from all of these electronic devices makes it hard for you to sleep because the receptors in your brain and in your body think that it's time to be awake the more you're exposed to all of these lights in these electronic devices. So it's very important for you to know that sometimes the answers to difficult situations are right there. You simply need to take action, and often the solutions are the simplest ones. I see here within the stock that focusing on whatever is at hand is a hidden message that had to be revealed to you. And sometimes the most important messages are the ones that are hidden in plain sight because they're the simplest ones, right? Sometimes the biggest words of wisdoms are so obvious, but because they're so obvious, we tend to forget, we tend to not take it as seriously or think about it as much. So that is where I definitely see here within the stock that you can gain so much more focus and productivity by just doing these really obvious things, like writing down your goals. Did you know that only about 3% of people actually physically write down their goals, but people who write down their goals are so much more likely to actually accomplish and reach them. So this is something super easy and free that's just hidden in plain sight that you can do. Furthermore, also ensuring that you're eating healthily, you're exercising. These are all free ways in which you can improve your life. And I see here within the Ace of Cups reversed for you, my beautiful Aries babies, that until you have kind of gotten these areas of your life together, it will be hard for you to introduce any new romantic interests into your life or to reignite the spark in a romantic situation that maybe already exists. So if you are in a relationship, do know here that you first need to focus on yourself. And if you're single, again, focus on you. The message remains the same no matter what your relationship status may be. It is essential for you to focus on your own well-being first and on getting enough sleep. Next up, we've got the Eight of Cups reversed. So I see here in the Eight of Cups reversed that walking away from any connection or from reconciliation is what will happen if you fail to do this. All my beautiful Aries babies, you have to focus on yourself right now. There's no other way to put this. This is a hidden message that was meant just for you, and you maybe didn't quite realize the urgency up until now of paying attention to your needs and truly delving into those needs, making sure that you're keeping up with them. So I do see that spending time taking care of you is what is necessary until any relationships can benefit. You have to put yourself as the number one priority. And next up, we've got the Magician, which corresponds to the number one of the major arcana. And I also want you to know here that the Magician actually corresponds to the planet Mercury, which is the planet of communication. And the Magician is a very confident figure. The Magician has all of these different elements under control. We've got the Cups, Pentacles, Swords, as well as the Wand. The Magician knows a little bit about everything and wields a lot of power and is very much focused on the tasks at hand. And that's where I can see that you're meant to go, all my beautiful Aries babies. That is what I see that the universe wants for you, to be focused, to be, in a sense, very much self-centered at this point in your life. And that doesn't make you selfish. That just makes you someone who knows when it's time to focus on themselves and their own ventures. And there's nothing wrong with that, my beautiful Aries babies. So this is the second, even more personalized part of your prediction that I received for you. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That greatly helps my channel grow, as well as push these videos out to more Aries babies that need to hear this message. I would like to thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to catch up with all you beautiful Aries babies during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction about all of the hidden messages that are meant just for you, my beautiful Taurus babies. So we'll get straight into your reading so we can figure out everything that my beautiful Taurus babies need to hear and need to know. First up, we've got boss up. So as a Taurus, you're definitely a very dependable and steadfast sign, but sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone and you need to boss up, my beautiful Taurus babies. Getting stuck in a set routine is something that can happen to a lot of my beautiful Taurus babies, and it's important that you become aware of this and that you try to mix things up, whether that be at your work, whether that be the type of food that you eat, the places that you explore and go on adventures on. Know here that the way how you can get the most out of life is by really bossing up and switching things up for yourself as well. Next up, we've got Stormy. So my beautiful Taurus babies, I do see here within Stormy that an important message that you need to hear is that you can overcome any difficult situation by just bossing up and stepping into your personal power and into the leadership role that you were meant to fill. That's one thing that I see here within Stormy, as well as boss up. Furthermore, setting healthy boundaries. That is so important in order to avoid unnecessary drama, conflict, and of course, stormy periods in your life. So what does that mean, healthy boundaries? Well, all my beautiful Tauruses, what you need to do is think about where other people's opinions are allowed to affect you, up until what point, and up until which point you are not going to take someone else's ideas into consideration, because that's just your boundary. Those are your standards. Whether that be the standards that you have while dating, or maybe you have certain boundaries with friends and family that you don't want anyone to cross. And it's so valid for you to keep and maintain those standards however you feel comfortable. Remind yourself here within There's Always a Way that no matter what goal or aspiration that you may have, my beautiful Taurus baby, there is a way how you can get there, and there is a way how you can accomplish this next big goal of yours. Know here within There's Always a Way that if you can dream it, if you can think it, you can accomplish it. But let's move further into your reading, my beautiful Taurus baby. So let's see what other hidden messages that were meant just for you. So next up, we've got the broccoli. In the broccoli, I can see that leadership is a message that's meant just for you. We already had a very similar message here within Boss Up, all of my beautiful Taurus babies. So you're really being pushed and compelled to step into your leadership role, to not get comfortable in the space that you're in, because there's so many more heights for you to reach and accomplish. I see here within the lemon that an important part of your life and moving forward is to cleanse and get rid of things that may be holding you back or that may have been keeping you complacent. So things that you may want to cleanse out of your life could be people who are kind of toxic or negative or simply don't understand your goals and aspirations, but you may also want to get rid of habits that are keeping you in a space of not being productive or not being as happy as you possibly could be. I see here within the lime that the sooner you get rid of any unnecessary things that are holding you back, the more luck that you will be able to create in your life, my beautiful Taurus babies. Because one thing about life is that you truly do create your own luck. The more that you believe and manifest, the more you will actually find that things go your way. A pessimistic mindset will never be able to create a positive life. However, a positive mindset has the potential to create an amazing, stunning life. So leave a little lemon emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're not just a Taurus baby, but that you're also vowing to get rid of anything that isn't aiding in you having more luck in your life and your existence. Next up, we've got the rosemary. I see here that working from a place of memory and reminding yourself of how far that you've come can help you to feel more confident in your leadership role. I do also see here within the rosemary that we've got the Leo symbol right here, which is actually the sign that's ruled by the sun and is said to be very kind of showy and dramatic and, again, leadership type of energy. So I do see here within the broccoli and the rosemary that you are meant to step into your leadership quality as well as just be showy, be dramatic, be out there. Don't be afraid to show the world what you're made of. And I definitely see here that when it comes to being a little bit more dramatic than you're used to, my beautiful Taurus babies, again, set healthy boundaries. It's not for anyone to say whether you're doing too much or too little. Do whatever feels right for you. Express whatever it is that you feel is right at any given moment in time. Next up, we've got the Chariot. Now, the Chariot shows me some fast forward movement, and I see here that a hidden message that was meant just for you is to know that as soon as you let go of those naysayers and anyone who's been overstepping the boundaries, you will find that moving forward just happens at such lightning speed. I see here within the Chariot that you have a lot of kind of wit within you, and you have the potential to move very quickly and to change rapidly, but you first kind of need to get into that cycle. So as mentioned at the start of your reading, sometimes it can be hard for you to be flexible, but with all my beautiful Taurus babies, it's almost like something that needs to be put in motion. It's not that Tauruses are inherently inflexible. It's just that Tauruses need time to set the flexibility into motion and to make it a habit, to make it a pattern. And then it becomes easier to get out of your comfort zone more frequently. I see here within the Devil that an important message, a hidden message that was meant just for you, is to reconsider your connection to the material world and to remind yourself here that sometimes materialism has its time and its place, but as an earth sign and being connected to this realm, it can definitely sometimes keep you from being as happy as you possibly could be. So make sure that you keep materialism and earthly things at bay, that they have their own time and space, but that you don't lead your life according to what you can gain financially, because there's just so much more for you to accomplish. And when you're on the right path, everything that you need in the earthly realms financially and materially is going to make its way to you. Everything that's meant to be will be yours. So all of my beautiful Taurus babies, these are the hidden messages that were meant for you. I hope that you enjoyed these and that you found this two-part prediction insightful and fun, and that you like this interactive experience. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me and others know. That greatly helps push my videos into the YouTube multiverse, so make sure that you don't forget to do that. Thank you for being here, my beautiful Taurus babies, and for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Gemini babies, and welcome to the second, even more personalized part of your prediction on all the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So let's talk all things Gemini in this part of your pick a card tarot reading, so we can figure out and uncover all the messages that were meant just for you. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this reading. But now let's get into part two. So we've got the Strength card as well as the Star. This is a very interesting combination of two major arcana cards in the tarot to begin with. So the Strength card corresponds to the number 8, which is a number of affluence and benevolence. And the Strength card actually represents not just strength, but also compassion and soft control. And I see here that for all my beautiful Geminis, the message that you need to hear is that you don't need to exert any type of strong force or control in order to have things in check and in line in your life. I can see here that just through the fact that you've got strong communicative willpower, you can make a lot of things work and happen for yourself. And I see here within the Star that there's hope on the horizon for things to get better and for just overall life to be easier for you to handle and deal with moving forward. The Star is a really positive card. This is a card of hope and inspiration, and it is definitely one that also encourages you to self-reflect. And I see that what's meant for you in this message is to self-reflect on the occasions in which, rather than exerting control and power, you simply allowed for your compassion and your empathy to lead, and how that actually left you feeling so much better about yourself in any given situation, and to continue using this approach moving forward. Next up, we've got the Four of Swords. Now, all my beautiful Gemini babies, a hidden message meant for you is to not overthink, and to remind yourself here that when you overthink and when you let anxiety creep in, it's hard to really shut off and rest. It's hard for you to ever really feel like you're safe, even in your sleep, quite literally speaking, as you can see here. Like you're trying to rest, you're trying to lean back and relax, but you still got this doom kind of looming over you. You still know that you can't fully shut off, and constantly being in fight or flight mode is definitely compromising your health mentally and physically, as it's not exactly good for your body to constantly be in this position. So you got to be careful with that, and remind yourself here that in order for you to have everything that you've ever desired, which is represented here in the World card, you have to remind yourself that letting go completely of fears is so necessary, at least every once in a while. The World card is actually like the best card of the tarot, so to say. This is the last major arcana card that marks a kind of time of fulfillment, that marks a culmination. So you finishing a big journey, a big cycle within your life, and being able to move on to the next. And I see here that you're ending a cycle of being reactive. So in the past, maybe people who triggered you or situations that made you mad may have caused you to act out of character, or to actually get angry, to yell, to scream. But I see here that you've closed that chapter, and the next chapter in the Strength card comes from a true inner strength, stability, and solidity. So you don't have to react to anything that someone else is doing. And I see here within the Star that you know yourself, and you're far too mature for that type of behavior. And the Four of Swords here shows me that you're more concerned with rest, with contemplation, and quiet preparation for the next steps in your life. You make moves, you don't announce them. Next up, within the Seven of Swords, I see that this is the best thing that you could do for yourself. And the hidden message here is to bear in mind that making moves silently and just letting people see the results is the best thing you can do, as the Seven of Swords shows me that there are definitely some copycats out there who want to do the same thing you're doing and who are looking for you to announce what you'll do next so they can follow up really quickly with doing the same. The Eight of Wands shows really quick forward movement, my beautiful Gemini babies, and it definitely shows that you're moving in a concise direction with your goals and your aspirations, but this is also a card that urges you to take enough time to reflect and also like detach from work that you do on a day-to-day basis rather than allowing for your work to control you. Next up, we've got goal setting as well as love is in the air, my beautiful Gemini babies. Let's start off with this love message, with this hidden message that we're uncovering now that was meant just for you. So there is more vibration of love in the air than usual for my beautiful Gemini babies. So if you are single, do know here that this is a very favorable card to receive in context to your love life. And if you are in a committed relationship, know that rekindling the spark and the flame as possible at this point in time. And I see within goal setting that the best thing you can do is really kind of stick to what you want when it comes to love, whether that be a life partner, marriage, children, whether that just be having fun and living the moment. Don't judge yourself for what you like. Also, when it comes to kinks, when it comes to things that are a little different or out of the ordinary and maybe even have to do with bedroom activities, if you know what I mean, my beautiful Gemini babies, don't deny yourself of speaking up about what you like and also just seeing whom you can explore this with. You'd be shocked and surprised at how many potential partners out there would be happy to explore something new and exciting with you, especially behind closed doors. Next up, we've got 0 F's given. My beautiful Gemini babies, I don't think we're going to have to tell you to do this twice, will we? As a Gemini baby, you are already very outspoken, you're direct, you communicate well, you're ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication, and it's also that planet that goes into retrograde and just messes up everyone's life. So this is a really powerful planet for you to be connected to, and it definitely speaks for the Gemini power that you've got and just how influential that you can be. So I definitely see that you're a role model to a lot of people. Now, all my beautiful Gemini babies, do leave a little hawk emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are a Gemini baby and that you're going to kind of live this 0 F's given lifestyle and focus on yourself, focus on self-love and compassion. Next up, we've got anger. So one thing that I can definitely see here with the 7 of Swords and anger is that some of your successes, honestly, are triggering people, my beautiful Geminis, but that is not your issue. That is not your problem. That's not for you to solve or to try to make someone else feel better about themselves. This is another person's issue. This is something that I want you to avoid at all costs and to not take into consideration at all as you're setting any of your upcoming goals. I see here within the Death card that the best thing you can really do is just leave that in the gutter, leave that where it belongs, which is, you know, in the ground, not being any of your business. As I see here that just putting an end to heavy, deep, dark emotions such as anger is the best thing you can do for yourself. This is really a hidden message that had to be revealed for you. Now, a card that popped out of the pile as we were talking about this is growth. And one thing that you can enable by just simply leaving anger in the coffin is growth, is acceleration, is for you moving forward and not remaining complacent. So completely remove yourself from people who are focused on anger and on sadness as well. That is another thing that your guides want to point out to you. This is a hidden message that is meant just for you, that growth is something that comes when you're able to leave behind people who simply want to rest in these emotions that are heavy and that are difficult for your body to deal with and overcome. Of course, we all go through anger and sadness, but it is important that it comes to an end. And that's what the death card stands for. It's not literal death. It is simply certain periods and cycles coming to an end and being able to move on and then grow from any sadness or anger that was there. So all my beautiful Gemini babies, this is part 2 of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed this really interactive video. Give this video a thumbs up if you did, as it greatly helps push these videos into the algorithm, into the YouTube multiverse. And of course, don't forget to let me and others know that you're a Gemini baby below in the comment section. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful fellow Cancerians, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your Pick a Card Tarot reading, where we uncover all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So let's talk all things Cancer, baby. You are ruled by the moon, and as a fellow Cancerian, you're very home and family oriented as well as receptive. Let's see what messages were meant to be revealed to you today. We've got the day you plant the seed as well as leap of faith. So it's important for you to remind yourself here that sometimes we build up leap of faiths to be a lot bigger than they are, even though they are simply the day that we plant the seed, such as publishing our very first YouTube video or publishing your first blog, starting your business. It's most likely not going to immediately be seen by thousands or millions of people. It feels like a huge leap of faith, but actually it is just the start. It's just the day that you plant the seed. So don't overthink it. Don't make it out to be way bigger than it needs to be in your head, my beautiful fellow Cancerians. And remind yourself that it's just the start. You're going to have to spend a lot more time being consistent and continuing to follow your dreams in order for them to really have an impact in the long run. Next up, we've got claim your energy. I see here that a hidden message that was meant just for you is to take your time, power, and energy back, especially if you feel as though you've given too much of it to other people, or you haven't been able to make as much use of your time and energy as you'd like for the ventures that are fun for you, for the things where you want to plant the seed. So if you're, for example, working in a 9-to-5 job, which is not a good or a bad thing, maybe it works for you, but maybe you also want to plant seeds elsewhere. Maybe you want to go back to school, or you want to start your own side hustle. It's important for you to claim your energy to make time for these other activities rather than putting all of your eggs in one basket, so that eventually maybe you can take the leap of faith of switching jobs, of full-time being in the hustle that started out as a side hustle, and doing something other than what you're doing right now that makes you put all of your eggs in one basket. Okay, try to diversify as much as possible and claim energy for these other parts of your existence. Next up, we've got the chrysanthemum. In the chrysanthemum, I can see here that in order to create longevity in all of your ventures, my fellow Cancerians, you have to be very assertive about whom you spend your time with, how you spend your time, and also how frequently that you take time to plant new seeds, to try new things. And it's so essential for you to also include in longevity your energy levels, right? If you're constantly feeling burnt out, that does not have a lot of longevity, and it's important for you to focus on being victorious in the long run. That's one thing that I see here in the nasturtium. It's important for you to focus on claiming your energy, on ensuring that you're being action-oriented and direct with people, and you're telling others what it is that you need. Here within the nasturtium, we've also got the master number 44, which is actually a number of stability. It is a number that shows that you're unafraid to say what it is that you need. And we also have the Aries symbol here, which is a fire sign that is deeply passionate, a little temperamental, and very direct. It's ruled by Mars. Next up, we've got the Kent pumpkin. Now, the Kent pumpkin shows me here that a message that was meant just for you is to remind yourself that productivity can be increased the more that you take leaps of faith, because the less fearful you'll be, right, my beautiful Cancerians? The more leaps of faith that you take, the more it will become normal for you to step outside of your comfort zone, and the less you'll feel afraid or like it's something strange for you to do whenever there's a challenge before you where you can take a leap of faith or step outside of your comfort zone. Next up, we've got the Ten of Wands as well as the Death card, both reversed. Now, don't fear the Death card. This is not a Death card that means literal death. I want you to know here in the Ten of Wands and the Death card reversed that you're coming to a point where you really, really, really need a break. And you kind of have to figure out where you want to go next. You get to pick the next cycle and phase in your life. It is completely up to you. So do know here that first comes the break, as well as, of course, making the decision to what you do next. But what's really important for you is that you don't rush this time in your life, my beautiful Cancerians. So if you've now got the choice to pick what career path you want to go down, what you want to do in your romantic relationships, with friendships, what you would like to do when it comes to big investments financially, really take the time to do the research. There's a reason why these cards showed up for you in reverse, and it is because you have to remain complacent for a while, to simply think, to simply contemplate and figure out what you want for yourself and what would work best. Next up, we've got the World card reversed, which shows us here that in a delayed sense, you will be able to grasp everything you've ever wanted. After all, the World card is the final card of the major arcana within the tarot, and it represents a time of culmination and complete fulfillment, totality of the things that you desire and goals being accomplished. But it did show up reversed, which tells us that there needs to be a little bit of time until you get there. Now, the King of Cups is the king of water signs. Being a Cancerian, you are a water sign. The King of Cups represents stability, leadership, as well as your emotions being under control. Now, that may feel like a far cry from where you are sometimes, my fellow Cancerians, especially if you can get very emotional and it's hard for you to control certain emotions. But do know here within the King of Cups that a hidden message that was meant just for you is that you've got the leadership qualities as well as the mental stability that you need in order to be the King of Cups, to represent the King of Cups in your life and other people's lives. But it's definitely important that you remind yourself here to take time to finish cycles, to complete what you've started, to tie up loose ends, then give yourself real breaks to chill before you move into the next phase, and don't rush big decisions, big life-changing decisions that involve you taking leaps of faith. Take your time so you can feel confident and so you can take these leaps just as we have depicted here, in stride, looking fabulous, glowing, and claiming your energy. So all my fellow Cancerians, leave a little crab emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you represent the Cancerian fam. Furthermore, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up in order to help push this out into the algorithm. So I would like to thank you for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Leo babies, and welcome to the second, even more personalized part of your prediction, where we talk all things Leo in connection to the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So I'm going to get straight into your prediction. I hope you enjoyed part one of this ultra personalizable reading, as we're now going to move into what is Leo specific about these hidden messages for you. So we've got a few cards that popped right out of the Wild Muse Oracle deck for you, my beautiful Leos. We've got Connect with Nature, Confessions, In Touch with Your Body, as well as Create and Progress. I can see here that a hidden message you were meant to receive is that through connecting with nature, you will find a lot of clarity, and you may all of a sudden start to speak from your heart more in a way that you never expected, in a very direct way, and in a way how it is almost like these dark confessions are leaving your body, they're leaving your throat chakra. You're no longer holding on to things that aren't serving you. And you're finding that the more you connect with nature, the more you get rid of the dark, maybe negative patterns, or even secrets you've been holding in for yourself or for someone else. And the more you become in touch with your body. And being in touch with your body is such a multifaceted experience. You can be in touch with your body by ensuring that you get proper nutrition, but you can also be in touch with your body by getting some movement, by ensuring that your body feels good in whatever position it's in, whether that's sitting, standing, actually moving around, moving about, walking, and optimizing these things. I see that the hidden message for you is that the more you're in touch with your body and the more you're also honest with yourself about what's not working for your body, the more you will be able to create and progress. Now, what does this mean? This means that, for example, my beautiful Leo babies, if there is some sort of food that always makes you feel sluggish, for me, that's pasta. If I eat white pasta or white grains, I'm falling asleep in the afternoon. No ifs, ands, or buts. Or, for example, if there are certain vitamins that I take, it makes me very tired. Not that being tired is a bad thing, but it does slow you down from creating and progressing. And noticing these patterns and being in touch with your body, noticing how your body reacts to certain foods, certain substances, certain additives, that can really help you be in tune with your own productivity and ensure that you're actually taking matters into your own hand and that you're not leaving your productivity and you moving forward to just random events. Next up, we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, in the Knight of Swords, I can see someone here that's got a hidden message that's just for you who has strong air sign energy. Think Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The Knight of Swords shows here that they've come to deliver a message to you in a really eager type of way. They're maybe up to no good too. They're going to deliver this message in a very blunt way without really taking feelings into account. So let's see what they've got to say. We've got Judgment. Okay, so within Judgment, we've got a card of the major arcana that's about forgiveness. And the Knight of Swords is telling you to do just that, to follow your inner calling, to stop judging yourself for the mistakes that you've made. And even if you followed your inner calling and, for example, tried to start your own business, or you followed your inner calling when it came to a relationship and it ended up not working out, don't judge yourself for it. Don't feel as though you made a huge mistake or like you were wrong. Sometimes we need to try things in order to figure out that they're not for us and in order to be able to properly put them to bed and put them to rest. And that's okay. That's where we've got confessions pulling in for you, because all my beautiful Leos, sometimes the best way to learn is really just through experience rather than just a thought and rather than just your mind thinking, oh, this isn't really a good idea. But somewhere deep down inside, you're like, I wish I would have tried it. Try it, my beautiful Leo babies. The worst that could happen is that it doesn't work out. Next up, we've got the Seven of Wands. Now, in the Seven of Wands, I can see here that there can often be this feeling of like the entire world being on your shoulders, and sometimes a feeling of you having to do everything by yourself. And when a lot of attention is on you, it can definitely cause some anxiety. That's one thing I see here in the Seven of Wands. So the best way for you to create and just overall progress in your work and your creative ventures is by being away from other people, being in solitude. You may be a more extroverted sign on average, but I see that when it comes to creating and your own personal progress, it's best for you to just have your alone time in your space. I see here within the High Priestess that we have this confirmed. The High Priestess corresponds to the number 2. It is a major arcana card. It is a card of non-action and unconscious awareness. And this is also a card of mystery. So I see here that spending time by yourself actually just makes you more mysterious. And I can see here that not constantly being in a space where you're partying and going out and doing things, that's actually healthy for you right now, my beautiful Leo babies. That's what you need right now. And that's a hidden message that you you were meant to receive. Retreat and also just revel in your own mystery and the parts of you that you're still getting to know and that you're still figuring out bit by bit. It's a fun ride and you might as well just enjoy it. Next up, we've got the broccoli. Now, the broccoli is a symbol of leadership. The broccoli is a symbol of being adventurous and also being resourceful. I see here with the broccoli that it connects to the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is a mutable sign of the zodiac, which means it's very flexible. It's very adaptable and changeable. So I definitely see here that a hidden message for you is that you are flexible to an extent that you didn't realize, and you're stronger than you've ever given yourself credit for, my beautiful Leo babies. And I see here within the cucumber that getting your emotions in check and being in the lead when it comes to your emotions is truly the most stress-free way for you to move forward without feeling as though you are doing something contradictory. So when your emotions are in line with your goals and where you're going, then you can move forward with ease and peace. However, if your emotions are all over the place, then of course you'll always kind of have this niggling feeling in the back of your mind that maybe you're not moving in the right direction. I see here within the chrysanthemum that we've got to talk about longevity with you, my beautiful Leos. We've got to talk about figuring out a leadership style for you and your life that works in the long run. And the only way for you to do that is to bring your emotions into play as well, to not neglect those, to not just put those off to the side and deal with them later, but instead to make them a part of your decision making, even if dealing with emotions is not your forte or your strong suit. I can definitely see here that it's time for you to figure out how you would like to deal with your own feelings, and the best way for you to do so is what we've got here in the High Priestess, taking time away, not acting on emotion, and always giving yourself enough time to process before you say yes to something or before you allow for your emotions to dictate any decision that you make. So all my beautiful Leo babies, leave a little lion emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received the second, even more intricate part of your prediction. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That greatly helps push my channel out into the YouTube multiverse. I would truly appreciate that. My beautiful Leo babies, thank you for being here and for spending this magical time and space with me. And I can't wait to speak to you in one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my gorgeous Libra babies, and welcome to the second, even more personalized part of your prediction, where we figure out all the hidden messages that were meant just for you. And in this portion of your reading, we're going to talk all things Libra. And as a Libra, you are flirty, you're very much analytical, you're critical and detail oriented. You are the type of earth sign that others can count on and that's very hardworking. So first up, we've got the Five of Crystals reversed. In the Five of Crystals reversed, I can see here that you're dealing with some competition, my beautiful Libra babies. Ooh, let's see what's going on here with that. So first up, we've got the Tower. Now in the Tower, I can see here that you're absolutely going to dismantle the competition, whether that be at work, whether that be in love, your private life. I can definitely see here that you're going to knock it out of the park, and overall, people are going to ask themselves where you got this strength from, where you got these ideas from, and how you managed to do what it is that you did. I see here within the Ace of Cups that there is an opportunity for a new romantic love to come into your life. That's a hidden message that was meant just for you. And I see here within the Four of Diamonds that it's important that you are very strict with your time. Just because there is a new romantic potential in your field or in your life doesn't mean that they're worthy of all your time just yet, my beautiful Virgo babies. So be conservative with your time when dating and when spending time romantically with others, because I can see that right now you need your time and energy for your creative and business ventures. The Three of Crystals shows me here that you're walking away from things that you're no longer passionate about, and you're doing so very intuitively. That's what I see here within the Moon. The Moon is actually a symbol of your intuition, of the divine feminine within you, of that gut feeling and knowing. And as you can see here within the Three of Crystals, we're walking away from something, right? We're exiting from an area that is just simply not working out anymore. And the Tower shows me that this is going to create a new kind of environment. So walking away maybe from a place that you've worked or lived that no longer serves you, maybe smashing it out of the park when it comes to your job or school, and then actually being done with it, not wanting to connect with anything that has anything to do with that time in your life anymore, and just simply leaving that in the past and being okay with it. The Four of Cups shows me that despite having some fears of loneliness and having some fears of having to start from zero and make new friends, I see that you've got this, all my beautiful Virgo babies. I can see here that somehow you're still resting assured that things will work out just fine, and that sometimes difficult decisions, they come with fears, and that's fine. That doesn't mean that you've got to succumb to those fears or those thoughts that may cause some sort of anxiety and increase in your heart rate. You know that every single step counts, and that's one thing that you Virgo babies are really great at. You're very grounded, you're very rational and realistic, and you understand that every little movement forward matters, it counts, it adds to the big picture, and it creates for a life that you're proud of. It helps you to create an existence that you know you put a lot of effort into, and effort is important for Virgo babies. You love putting in your own efforts, but also seeing others do the same. I see here within unconscious games, oh, by the way, we've got two master numbers here. 22 is a master number that corresponds to every step counts, and then we've got the master number 11, which corresponds to unconscious games. Now, these master numbers kind of emphasize the powers of these cards. The unconscious game card does show me here that you are unraveling and revealing situations in which you were manipulated or in which people tried to control you. If you've ever dealt with a narcissist or someone who just overall is a very controlling type of person, you know that that can sometimes come with emotional manipulation and unconscious games, and them putting you in positions that are uncomfortable, not physically necessarily, but emotionally speaking. And I do see here that you're taking steps away from that, and you're realizing that every time someone does that, you remove yourself a little further and you understand that this is most likely not the right person for you to be around. And it doesn't matter whether they're an old friend or a family member. There is no space for that within your existence, my beautiful Virgo babies. Next up, we've got healthy boundaries. The Wild Muse Oracle deck is definitely speaking volumes. We're confirming here that you've got to set those healthy boundaries, and that is what you're doing. You should be proud of that, my beautiful Virgo babies. And I see here that some of the messages that were hidden that are now being uncovered for you is that these boundaries are essential to your health and well-being. These boundaries are so important in order for you to be able to move forward. Even if it's just in little steps, you need to create space between what you want and desire and what other people expect and want from you. It's all about claiming your energy, my beautiful Virgo babies. Do we even need me within this reading? Because after all, if you don't claim your time and your energy, then your energy may just be leaky and flow absolutely everywhere, rather than you being able to utilize your own energy to accomplish your own goals and aspirations. So it is important to make every single step count, to stay away and steer clear from people who are playing unconscious games. And that's not to say that they're bad people. Some people don't notice that they're even doing this, or they're going through a phase in their life where they simply think that this type of behavior is okay. And that is their karma and what they're going through. That is their situation. But for you, my beautiful Virgos, you're setting those healthy boundaries in order to protect yourself, your heart, and your own well-being. So I hope that you enjoyed this second, even more intricate part of your prediction. Make sure that you leave a little four-leaf clover emoji below to not only represent the Virgo fam, but also to let me and others know that you watched the entire second part of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed this very interactive experience. Make sure you thumbs this video up to let me and others know that you did. And all my beautiful Virgo babies, know that I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you in one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Libra babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction where we discuss all of the hidden messages meant just for you. I hope that you enjoyed the first part that you got to pick from during the intro of this video. But now let's talk all things Libra, shall we? As a Libra, you are ruled by Venus. You're diplomatic, you're detail-oriented, you're peace-loving, and someone who's very refined. So let's see what hidden messages may be here for all my beautiful Libra babies. We've got stormy, as well as endless serendipity. So I see here that despite rocky roads and challenges, there's still a lot of unexpected happiness, greatness, bliss, as well as abundance that's coming your way, all of my beautiful Libras. Now, I hope that you understand and appreciate that this reading, all of my pick a card readings, I am always 100% honest, so if you can appreciate that, leave a little balloon emoji below in the comment section because we all go through ups and downs, and seeing that you need to know about stormy situations, even though you will be able to have a lot of serendipity in your life, that is something important for you to take note of so you don't lose motivation and so you can focus on all the great that's going on in your life, even though life is maybe really hectic or there are a lot of big projects that need to be completed that are kind of messing with your emotions and making you feel all over the place. Next up, we've got in touch with your body. So that's most likely the best way for you to find inner peace and stability, to be in touch with your body and to not compromise your routines. If part of your routine is waking up every morning and just stretching for 10 minutes, or you want to start a routine such as that, do it, commit to it, never compromise on it. The hardest days are those days where you need a routine the most because it gives you stability, it gives you a sense of purpose, and it kind of gives you this type of knowing of what's going to happen next, which allows you to be at peace and allows you to truly feel calm, especially as there are murky waters ahead of all of my Libra babies. So not quite knowing what's going to happen next, right? Whether that be economically, whether that be professionally or in your love life, I see that the best way to deal with not knowing what's happening next, even though you're a Libra, right? You love balance. You just want to be able to plan ahead. You just want to know what's going on. But it's not always possible in every instance. And the best way for you to keep your cool, to keep your calm, is, of course, to be in touch with your body physically, but also emotionally speaking, and to have your routines that lead to a tranquility. That's what we've got here within the violet. The violet shows us that a hidden message meant for you is that you need more calm, more peace, more quiet within your life. That is what really serves you. Tranquility, stepping away from loud situations, quite literally speaking. If you have friends or family members who are always very loud, that's not to judge them, all of my beautiful Libras. It's just to say that you thrive in an environment of tranquility at this point in time. And I see here within the chrysanthemum that spending time away from noise, from loudness, even just turning off music and simply being in silence, sitting in silence, meditating, that is where the longevity is at for you. That is a way in which you can thrive in the long run. So try not to compromise on that. Try to make time for these sacred moments where you can simply just be in silence and in peace, in total tranquility, because that's where you've got the best ideas. Ooh, we've got the Ace of Wands, which is just that. It is the start of a new, fascinating, innovative idea. The Ace always corresponds to a new beginning in the tarot, and the Suit of Wands is correspondent to the element of fire and brings passion, brings ideas, brings hobbies that light you up, and things that just overall fill you with creative force, enthusiasm, and some sort of fire. So I do see here in the Ace of Wands that that's what's coming next for you. And the Queen of Cups here shows me that you've got some ideas on the go that are not only going to benefit you, but also those around you. You've got very caring energy about you, very nurturing energy. And I see that all the ideas that you have include family, the good of a community or society, and it's never just rooted in making money or selfish ventures. That isn't you. Next up, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. This is what actually leads to your worldly success. This is what actually makes you that person that others want to work with and who others root for. I see that people want to see you win and they will help you get there. The Nine of Pentacles shows us here that through discipline, refinement, and always keeping the core goal in mind of not only benefiting yourself, but also other people, you're able to actually create a life of abundance and endless serendipity. Even though there's always a lot of work to do, there are ups and downs and there are stormy times, you are still maintaining that part of your mindset of knowing what the goal is and never forgetting that. Next up, we've got the Fool. Now, the Fool is a card of new beginnings. The Fool is a card of starting a completely fresh journey. It corresponds to the number 0. It is the very first card of the major arcana in the tarot. And this is a card of spontaneity, of blindly having faith that everything will be okay. As you can see here, just dancing really close to the edge of a cliff, but just seeming to not have a care in the world and following your instinct. That is what the dog represents. The dog is the symbol of your instinct, and the Fool is actually correspondent to Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of the unusual or unexpected. It is the planet of uniqueness and individuality. So I do see here within the Fool that you're expressing more of your uniqueness, of your individuality, and that there are some fresh new beginnings on the horizon. So a glow up, a rebirth, you changing your personal style completely. And I see here within the Eight of Cups that you're abandoning the old you, so to say. You're walking away from him or her. You're walking away from them, and you're not returning. You're okay with that. You know that it's time for you to move on. And all of my beautiful Libra babies, you may not even recognize yourself from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and you're going through another cycle where you're going to think back in a couple weeks and months to who you are right now at the time of you watching this video and think, oh, I can't even remember who this person used to be. I've changed so much since then. So there's a lot of deep cellular change that's happening for you, but it's all moving in the right direction, and it's all very much encouraged by your guides and the universe. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, this is a reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Leave a dog emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're a Libra baby, to manifest these amazing changes, and to show that you made it to the end of the second part of your prediction. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up while you're down there, and I can't wait to speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my gorgeous Scorpio babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction about all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm starting off, with the Wild Muse Oracle deck that clearly has a few messages for you right off the bat, my beautiful Scorpio babies. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this prediction that you got to pick from during the intro, but now let's talk all things Scorpio. You are ruled by Pluto. You are a sign that's pretty intense and knows what they want, and I see that reflected here within On Fire. So first and foremost, I see here that a hidden message that is meant for you is to continue to express yourself however you see fit. You are a very magnetic, powerful, and passionate sign, and that's what everyone loves about you, beautiful Scorpio babies. So try to never dim your light in order to fit in or feel as though maybe you're too much, maybe you're too expressive, maybe you speak your mind too often. And no, my beautiful Scorpio babies, give 0 Fs, because there will always be someone who does not agree with how you're living your life, how you're behaving, the mannerisms that you use, how you're expressing yourself. There will always be a naysayer, and the more successful you become and the more people that you come in touch with and come in contact with, the more you will find that every now and then there is someone who has something to say, but it's time for you to move on from giving that any space in your head whatsoever. Do not allow for thoughts surrounding other people's opinions to live rent-free in your space and in your head. It's time to move on from that. As a Scorpio baby, you can definitely be very intense, and when something bothers you, you tend to ruminate, and that can take a lot of energy away from you when you're constantly thinking back at an event or something that happened to you, and you're lost in those thoughts, you're lost in thinking about the past, that can harm you in the long run. That can really stifle your productivity as well as how effective that you're able to be in the areas of life that are going on right now and that actually matter. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, move on from giving any F's about someone who doesn't like the fact that you've got that zest and you've got that fire in you. Next up, we've got Becoming Nobody. This is actually a tarot card inspired by a video that I did here on YouTube. Sorry, an oracle card. This is not a tarot deck. This is an oracle deck that I published. And this is inspired by a Ram Dass documentary. And I want you to know here within Becoming Nobody that the core message that was inspired here is to have a fresh slate, a blank slate upon which you can build. And I do see here that a hidden message that's meant just for you is that this fresh slate has everything to do with the 10-90 ratio. And I will explain to you what this is. The 10-90 ratio means that life is really just 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it, my beautiful Scorpio babies. And living through this philosophy can truly help you to detach from any type of outer opinion, from anyone else's feelings and emotions about what you're doing, and it can help you find peace and freedom and allow you to move on from any relationships that don't serve you or that are stifling your growth as well as your personal expression. Next up, we've got the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of generosity. You're having fun, you're giving people time, energy, maybe even lending out money to friends or family members. One thing to be aware of, my beautiful Scorpio babies, and that's a hidden message here for you, is to ensure that you're not spending more time, energy, and money than you can freely and willingly give. Once you start to kind of expect something in return or expect to be paid back, that's when you enter dangerous territory, because there's no guarantee that someone else will do that. So in order to keep your peace, make sure that everything that you give, whether it is the finite resource of your time, your attention, or your money, that you are free to give that without wanting it back, that it's not going to affect you if that person doesn't do the same in return for you, in order to avoid any type of hurt later down the line. In the Two of Swords, I can see some indecisiveness that's going on. There is some big decisions that need to be made, and a hidden message that you need to uncover is that there's no right or wrong right now. Whether you're thinking of moving to another city, of moving in with someone, of switching jobs, of quitting your studies, whatever this big decision is that you've been ruminating about and thinking about and considering and taking everyone's feelings into account, know here in the Two of Swords that no one else can make the decision other than you. And there isn't going to be this one moment where it becomes clear all of a sudden what you need to do. You have to just follow your gut feeling and your intuition. You can't wait around. You can't waste time. Now you need to kind of say what's happening, where you're going. There's no more time for you to sit around and wait for things to happen. Next up, we've got the Queen of Cups. Now in the Queen of Cups, we've got the Queen of Emotions. We've got the Queen of knowing exactly how procrastination affects you, how negatively it affects you, how difficult it can be for you to deal with procrastination, and that it's best for you to just do things whenever they arise. I see here in the Eight of Pentacles that, of course, this is a work in progress. It takes time. It's also a kind of mindset thing to combat procrastination and to stand up to it and to not allow it to consume your life too much. So do know here that you've got time. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We all go through phases of procrastination and somehow just not being able to face certain things, whether it's something as simple as making a phone call for a dentist appointment, or ensuring that you've checked all of your emails and your mailbox, that you've opened all the letters. Do know here that the more you kind of practice knowing that these things can't actually harm you, it's just anxiety that's pent up in your head, the more you will be able to face these things without kind of procrastinating and feeling as though you want to avoid it at all costs. Next up, we've got the Fool, my beautiful Scorpio babies. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana within the tarot. This is a card of fresh beginnings, that you are taking leaps is one thing that I can see here. And I also see within the Fool that we've got spontaneity. We've got you having faith in what comes next. And I do see here in the Fool that the more leaps of faith that you take, the more you will actually realize that leaps of faith aren't really that scary, because what's the worst that could happen, right? If you're taking a leap of faith when it comes to starting your own business, the worst that could happen is that this particular model doesn't work out. Okay, that's it. If you're seeing someone romantically speaking and it doesn't work out, you're taking the leap of faith, you're putting yourself in a position where you could catch feelings for them. You could develop real love for this person and it doesn't work out. I mean, the worst that could happen is that you do move on, that you find reciprocity, that you find someone who feels the same way that you feel. And here within the Fool, I can definitely see more of a carefree attitude and more of an understanding that a lot of things that we make out to be a big deal are really not that big of a deal. And I can see here that as a beautiful Scorpio baby ruled by Pluto, you're definitely all about figuring out what you want out of life and being very analytical about what will affect you a day, a week, a year, 10 years from now. And if something that's challenging, that's going on in this moment won't affect you a couple years from now, you're not even going to give it the time of the day to stress you out right now, because it's not worth it. So all my beautiful Scorpio babies, leave a little scorpion emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of the second part of your prediction and that you enjoyed it. While you're down there, give this video a thumbs up to show some love and let me and others know that you appreciate these highly interactive two-part predictions. I like to thank you for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to connect with all my beautiful Scorpio babies in one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. Welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction, where we talk about all of the hidden messages that were meant to be revealed for Sagittarius babies specifically. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this reading, where you got to pick from 4 groups during the intro, but now let's talk all things Sagittarius, shall we? You are ruled by Jupiter. In case you didn't know, Jupiter is the planet of growth, philosophy, as well as communication, and I see here within the Nasturtium that one thing that you need to know is that victory is yours, my beautiful Sagittarius babies. What a start to the Sagittarius portion of this prediction. I can see that you will be triumphant even if you don't expect it. Do know here that you've got this type of Aries energy that's backing you up. We've got the Aries symbol here, so if you've got Aries placements within your birth chart, know that this enthusiastic and temperamental part of you is propelling you to victory. We also have the master number 44, so if you continuously see the number 44 or 444 as a synchronicity, know that this is your sign that you're moving towards success and victory. The broccoli shows me here that you're unafraid to step into a leadership position, and stepping into a position of leadership is where you're meant to be all the way from the beginning through to victory and success. I see here that as a Sagittarius, you're definitely someone who is very optimistic and honest, and right now is your time to shine. This is a message that had to be uncovered for you, because if self-doubts have crept in or have kept you from being that version of yourself that you're super proud of, know that you can course correct at any given point. Okay, this is not like a video game where you have to switch it off and switch it on again, restart the level because you've already kind of gone too far in without being able to be successful at whatever it was about. No, in life, you don't have to kind of switch off and switch on. You can course correct anytime, and you can complete the level successfully at any given point. Okay, this is your cycle, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. Next up, we've got the marigolds. Stay positive. We mentioned how you are a very optimistic sign, and I see here within the marigold that this positivity is something that really helps you out in your career. It really helps you out when it comes to your relationships, because people love being around this type of energy. The watermelon shows me that you exude this energy of fertility. So I wouldn't be surprised if romantic partners often want to start a family with you, my beautiful Sagittarius babies, because you just seem to be like the ideal person to raise children with, to be with in the long term. And a lot of people dream and think about what a future with you might be like, and they do idealize it in their head a lot, but I guess that is to your advantage because that just gives you more of an opportunity to pick from different people, to choose the best person for the job to be with long term if that's a type of relationship setup that you desire. And it also gives you a little bit more wiggle room for mistakes because you are easily forgiven. I see here within the leap of faith that a hidden message that was meant just for you is to take that leap of faith, my beautiful Sagittarius babies. Yes, if you've been afraid to start your own business, to quit your job, to move on from a relationship that just doesn't quite feel right, even if that is a marriage, even if that is an engagement, take the leap, move on. You are not meant to be in a space where you're constantly questioning who you're with, whether this is the right place for you to be at, whether you're spending your time in a manner that you can be proud of. You should not be questioning that over and over and over again. I see here within becoming nobody, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, that having a blank slate is what's important for you in order to be able to build upon. And becoming nobody is actually an oracle card that was inspired by a Ram Dass documentary, and I did a video on this on my YouTube channel as well. For all of you who are completely new, this is actually an oracle deck that I self-published and wrote and created and all of that. So I am an author of tarot and oracle decks. For any of you who didn't know, the links are in the description box if you're interested in my decks. So in becoming nobody, I can see here that starting afresh is something that is going to serve you in the long run, because you can not only take more leaps because you've got nothing to lose, but you can also kind of rebuild in a sense that makes you really proud and happy, and you can boss up, my beautiful Sagittarius babies. You've got this. You've got everything that you need figured out in a sense that now you can just make use of it, okay? Whether that is you having resources such as clean drinking water, food, a roof over your head, really mundane things, but it's important for you to have that in order to be able to boss up and make moves, because if those things aren't given, then of course your worries are elsewhere. Your worries are not with creating multiple streams, but we just spoke about how you have that set in place, so we can move on to creating these multiple streams. We can move on to putting your eggs in many baskets. And this is one thing that you're being encouraged to do. This is a hidden message for you. Especially if you're, for example, dating and there is someone who you like, don't put all of your eggs in one basket until there is real commitment there, because then you kind of risk putting yourself in a vulnerable position, and that person will be able to sense that. The person who you're seeing will know that no matter what they do or what happens, you will stay there. So it is important for you to always keep an air of mystery. If you are single, that means don't put all of your eggs in one basket until you are truly in a committed relationship. And if you are in a committed relationship, keep an air of mystery. Keep your own hobbies that you do by yourself, whether that is a Tupperware party that you go to, whether you hit the gym, whether you go explore new areas in nature with a friend once a month. Just have your own routines and your own things that you like to do away from your partner, so that you can keep this air of mystery, of independence and excitement. And that way conversation will never get boring in any of your connections or relationships. I see here within rejection that failing to do so will definitely lead to relationships ending up in a feeling of rejection, or just feeling as though you're not as interesting as you used to be, feeling like you're not as attractive as you'd like to feel. But I see that you can grow from this, okay? So don't feel as though this is a situation that can't be course corrected or rectified. Everything can be rectified, my beautiful Sagittarius babies. As we spoke about earlier, this isn't like a video game where you have to start from level 0 again and work your way up, right? In life, you can always course correct. You can always find a middle ground that works for you and everyone else who's involved. So don't be afraid to take a couple steps back, reevaluate what you could have done in a more effective way, and then at the crossroads, choose a different path. Choose one that truly suits you and fits you, and continue on your journey as though nothing had happened. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you leave a little tree emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact a Sagittarius baby, that you made it to the end of the second part of your prediction, and that you liked the video. But that's what the like button is for. So while you're down there, don't forget to click that. Thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my gorgeous Capricorn babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction, where we talk about all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So let's talk all things Capricorn. You are ruled by Saturn. Did you know that, my beautiful Capricorn babies? Saturn is the planet of structure, of organization, and authority. So let's move into your reading and see how this affects all of the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So we've got the Ten of Swords, as well as the Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So all my beautiful Capricorn babies, this is a channel in which I tell you exactly what I see, not just what you want to hear. So I see that some hidden messages that we've got here for you is that it's important for you to move on from certain situations in your life right now. So we've got something that's causing mental anguish and nightmares. I do see here that this may have to do with a relationship that is strained and that simply just can't be salvaged at this point in time. So don't waste your energy trying to build a bridge all by yourself, okay? If the other person isn't cooperating, you need to move on, or else you will be the only one putting in effort. And maybe you've been the only one putting in effort. And I do see here with the Four of Pentacles that now it's time to focus on yourself, to be quote-unquote selfish, my beautiful Capricorns, to be disciplined enough to pull yourself away from any situation that is causing emotional distress and harm, where you can just tell that you're kind of the only one really trying. You're the only one whose end goal is for things to be healthy and for there to be a drama-free relationship. And this can be very hard if you're dealing with people whom you can't avoid, right? If this is family, parents, or coworkers, a boss, someone who you simply can't just banish out of your life, well, I guess you can do so more with work people than with family, but you get what I mean, my beautiful Capricorns. But I do see here within the Chariot that it will be hard at first, but moving forward, you will find that the ride of life is just so much easier without these relationships that are stressful, that are filled with drama, that are filled with gossip. You don't need that. I see here within the Chariot that you will move forward and live happily ever after. Even if it seems really hard at first, you must detach. And I have a very personal kind of story about this, where there was a situation where I was very close to someone, but they were just so toxic. They just always talked negatively about other people. They always kind of, you know, made me feel more down than uplifted. Every time I got off the phone with them, every time I saw them, there were kind words, but there were also words that really stung and hurt. And I could sense that they knew that, even though they pretended to not know what they were doing. And I just had to put a stop to it. And they went haywire for a while. But once the dust had settled and I had basically shown that I'm being mindful of my time and my energy, and I'm not putting it into a relationship where my boundaries aren't respected, I was able to move forward with so much more happiness, grace, ease, and peace. And I see here within the Six of Swords that you'll be able to do the same, my beautiful Capricorns. You'll be able to move from waters that are very choppy to a place where it's just like smooth sailing, but you have to be the one that's putting the destination into the navigation system and simply following it. Okay, you're the one who's behind the wheel. You're the one who's paddling into the direction that you want to go into. So it's important for you to choose and to not lose sight of the course that you're on and why you're on this course, why you're doing this, and what the end goal is. So next up, we've got trust your intuition. My beautiful Capricorn babies, you're a very disciplined as well as responsible sign, and sometimes you are very close to the rational mind in a sense that it can be hard for you to just follow gut instincts or intuition, because it's like there's just not enough evidence to back up that that's the right decision to make. That's what we've got here. But your guides and the universe has this hidden message that's meant just for you, about you trusting your gut feeling more, reminding yourself that your gut feeling has existed for a lot longer than science has. Humans have been using this to protect themselves and guide themselves for thousands and tens of thousands of years. Sometimes trusting your intuition is really the best route for you, even if that means that you've got to sacrifice logic, that you've got to sacrifice being able to explain every single thing. And a lot of things in life are just inexplicable. A lot of things about your destiny will never be put in a way how you can explain why it happens, right? Or at least not in our lifetimes, my beautiful Capricorn babies. And that's something that you need to learn to be okay with in order to ensure that you keep your peace of mind, that you don't put all your energy into overthinking or feeling as though things are out of control. Okay, not everything can be planned and rationalized, and that's okay. I see here within the world that nevertheless you are destined to lead a fulfilled life. You're destined to lead a life of integration, of accomplishment, of fulfillment, of having what you need, and of abundance. The World is the last card of the major arcana, in case you didn't know, and it is said to be the most positive card. So despite a bit of a rocky start in your reading, my beautiful Capricorns, we're getting to this place of eternal bliss, and you're being given this very precise path of how to get there, and who is not part of this path and this journey. I see here within the Ace of Cups that we've got this piece of information about a new relationship coming into your life, and the Ace of Cups often signifies the start of a new romantic relationship. So this is definitely quite literally in the cards for you, my beautiful Capricorns. So look out for that if you are single and looking to update your relationship. And I see here in the Four of Wands that this is a forever relationship. The number 4 is a number of stability, of family, of creating a solid foundation, and of laying a foundation upon which you can also build a family and a home life. So I do see a very intense and very real relationship, one that is meant to last for a very long time. And I see here within the Nine of Swords that this type of commitment is definitely keeping you awake at night, and it's something that you're going to have to get used to. I see in the Nine of Swords that it's very new for you, and that of course with that comes anxiety and worry and fear and not wanting for things to go south in a way, but you have to just trust your intuition and your gut and not allow for overthinking or anxiety to take over as much as you possibly can, my beautiful Capricorns. So we are at the end of the second part of your prediction, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you leave a little pink flower emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you represent the Capricorn fam. And while you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up in order to let me know that you enjoyed this two-part prediction and you appreciate the effort that goes into these pick a card tarot readings. So all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, thank you for being here, for spending this magical time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello all my beautiful Aquarius babies, and welcome to the second, even more personalized part of your prediction about all of the hidden messages that are meant just for you. So I'm gonna get straight into it using the Wild Muse Oracle deck. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this pick a card tarot reading, my beautiful Aquarius babies, but now we're gonna talk all things Aquarius. We've got time to move on, know your worth, as well as leap of faith. So all my beautiful Aquarius babies, you are ruled by Uranus, in case you didn't know, and Uranus is the planet of the unusual and unexpected. It is also a planet that encourages individuality, and I see that it's time for you to move on from situations in which you cannot be yourself, or in which your individuality as well as innovative nature isn't encouraged. That could be a workforce, that could be a relationship that is romantic or platonic, or it could even be a place that you live in where you constantly feel like the outcast, or you constantly feel like you don't belong, right? That could be a neighborhood, that could just be a geographical location. It's not always right for everyone to be in a place where they stick out in a sense that makes them uncomfortable. So you need to know your worth and know yourself, and remove yourself from situations in which you're tolerated rather than celebrated. And yes, it will be a big leap of faith. That's one thing that I see here, but a hidden message that's meant just for you is that it will pay off tenfold with abundance, not only when it comes to financial successes, but you also feeling like you can be yourself, whether that is you wearing really crazy clothing and outfits or makeup or hairstyles, or you just feeling your best and being able to walk confidently with your head held high and straight back. I do see here that it's time for you to move on from situations that make you feel too uncomfortable to do so. I see within hidden in plain sight that there are a lot of little signs of things that are working out for you, but also things that are not working out for you that are hidden in plain sight, right? If there are relationships where you're constantly kind of questioning whether it's going to work out in the long run, but you've become so accustomed to these thoughts that it's like normal, it's hidden in plain sight that maybe this isn't the right relationship for you. Like if you are in a relationship that is romantic with someone and you constantly need to question whether this is the right person for you, but you've been with them for a while, so you've gotten accustomed to this feeling, you may not have the courage to leave them. It may be hard for you to take the leap of faith and just know that this isn't meant for you. But I do see here within hidden in plain sight that the more you become aware of this, the more you will be able to take action and to move on and to remind yourself that just because something has been a certain way for a long time, or even tradition, doesn't mean that it's the right thing. I mean, there's so many things that are rooted in tradition that are highly misogynistic, that go against human rights, and people kept doing them because they were tradition, because it was just hidden in plain sight. It was claimed to be normal. So it's important for you to not fall into that trap and to remind yourself here to know your worth and to follow your instincts. I see here within the Four of Cups that this can be a lonely road, but as an Aquarius baby, you are equipped for any type of spurts of loneliness that may lay ahead of you. You're a sign that's pretty confident. You're a sign that's able to survive on its own. You don't need a large crowd of friends. Even though you're pretty good in a large group of people, you're someone who can talk to anyone, no matter what walk of life that they're from. I see here within the Sun that you're the type of person that always brings great energy into the room. You're someone who's very independent, original. You have a rebellious nature to you, which makes you really fun to be around. And I do see here that letting go of situations that are kind of dimming your light a little bit will have you radiate even more. That's why we've got the Sun, right? The Sun is a symbol and a planet of willpower, of vitality, of purpose. And the more you can kind of identify with that and steer clear of people who discourage that, the more you will find that you attract the things that you want. I see here within the Devil that with a lot of success also comes temptation. Temptation to spend more money than you really should, to make materialism a permanent fixture within your life. Just overall, a situation here in which you are held captive by things, by your relationship to everything that's earthly. And it is important to note that a relationship to earthly things, that is important. That is just part of life. We can't circumvent that. But I do see here within the Devil that materialism can often tie you to an identity that is not meant for you in the long run. So it's important for you to find a partner, romantically speaking, who is very down to earth, who does not care about brands or anything like that, who does not care to flex, to look a certain way, someone who is very authentic. And I also see here within the Two of Cups that a hidden message that's meant just for you is that the perfect partner is most likely hiding just hidden in plain sight and is most likely not very far from you, my beautiful Aquarius babies. This is someone whom you maybe work with, whom you will maybe meet through friends, that actually lives really close to you, but you never even knew about their existence, and all of a sudden they show up in your life and you're like, where were you all these years? That's what I see here in the Two of Cups. Next up, we've got the Marigold. So stay positive, my gorgeous Aquarius babies. Know here that is your biggest and best asset, your positivity, your mindset, your way of staying sane, really, by staying positive. And I can see here in the peppermint that success is assured. Success is meant to be yours. This is a hidden message that had to be revealed for you, especially during a time of doubt, of feeling anxious, of maybe not quite knowing where you're meant to go next or what life has in store for you. Do know here that success is something that is coming your way and that had to be revealed within this reading to push you to regain your confidence and keep that confidence. So all of my gorgeous Aquarius babies, leave a little sunflower emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of this prediction, and also give this video a thumbs up to let me and others know that you appreciate these two-part super interactive and personalizable pick a card tarot readings. Know that I appreciate you more than I can put in words. I'm sending you so much love, my gorgeous Aquarius babies, and I can't wait to speak to you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my gorgeous Pisces babies, and welcome to the second, even more intricate part of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed choosing part 1 during the intro of this reading, but now let's get into the portion of this tarot reading where we talk all things Pisces when it comes to the hidden messages that were meant just for you. So let's see what your guides have to say to you, specifically my gorgeous Pisces. So first up, we've got updates to your system. I see here that when it comes to hidden messages that were meant for you, know that there's a lot happening in the background. There are a lot of updates that are going on that you're maybe not even aware of, like your confidence slowly increasing, like your psychic abilities strengthening, like your body just overall healing itself from a traumatic experience. I can see that growth is your default setting right now, and it's important for you to know that this is happening hidden, okay? This is out of sight and mostly also out of mind because it is not very obvious to you. I see here within the Ace of Swords that receiving this message and this reading is actually going to kind of activate a part of you that is grateful for everything that happens in the background, whether that be your body regenerating itself, or for example, the fact that you're slowly but surely getting to your goals every single day with taking one step in the right direction. The Ace of Swords shows me that you've got a lot of this mental force and fortitude in you, my beautiful Pisces, and it's allowing you to lead a life that is filled with grace and gratitude. Next up, we've got the Eight of Wands, and there's a lot of movement that's happening here, some quick action, and I see that there is some interesting news that's coming your way. With updates to your system, I do also see with the Eight of Wands that you may receive a piece of information or some news that you didn't expect from your work or from someone close to you, and you're going to feel as though life is moving so quickly. So it could be someone getting married, expecting a child, or someone quitting a job, and it's making you feel like, oh, maybe I need to make more moves. Maybe I need to move more quickly in my life and my existence. So there is a little bit of pressure, but do know here with an upside down and this hidden message that was meant just for you is that it's all about perspective, my gorgeous Pisces. I mean, there are people who started multi-billion-dollar businesses when they were past their quote-unquote prime, right? Past their 50s, 60s. So do know here that it's all about perspective. It's not like it's ever too late or too soon for you to do something. There are people who don't get married and start families until a lot later in life. And it is also completely valid to not follow any of these types of paths that society has told us are acceptable. Know here that it's important for you to prioritize reflection over everything and to ensure that you're doing what really fits you and the dreams and goals and aspirations that you have for yourself, because not everyone wants that conventional lifestyle. Not everyone can thrive in it. We're all individuals who have different types of needs and wants in our existence, and we're all entitled to lead our lives however we see fit, because after all, we've just got one. We might as well do what works for us and what suits us, and you have the right to do so, my beautiful Pisces. In the chives, I can see here that divination is an important part of your existence and your life, and furthermore, this also connects to the sign of Scorpio, which is a fellow water sign that is very intense, mysterious, and can sometimes even be a little bit extreme if you will. And I see here that divination is a great way for you to not only get these updates to your system, but also to prioritize reflection. Next up, we've got the P as well as the lemon. So I do see here within the P that we've got the sense of communication that you've got going with divination. So being able to connect with your angels and your ancestors. I see that being part of your divination practice. And also within the lemon, we've got this feeling of being able to cleanse out any unwanted, unneeded energies because you've got this direct connection to your ancestors and your guides. So because you're so deeply connected and embedded in spiritual practices or in divination, and you may know this or you may just have always felt like you could have psychic abilities, I want you to know that that truly helps you to eliminate any kind of unhelpful vibes out of your life and to clearly communicate with the higher realm and with the spiritual beings that are a part of your life. Next up, we've got ghosts. So don't be surprised if you're able to communicate with past loved ones, with souls and spirits that are no longer with us in the flesh. I definitely see here within ghosts that that is a part of what you're able to do, but it's not a scary thing at all. I want you to know that you can find peace and comfort in that you can find comfort in the fact that you've got this connection to the unseen, and it actually gives you a lot of stability and information that can calm your mind and keep you at ease and kind of quiet any fears that you may have had. So for my beautiful Pisces babies, I see that a hidden message is that you've got more psychic abilities than you give yourself credit for, or than you've ever been aware of. And exploring these is actually going to help you not only feel more connected to yourself, but also your lineage. Now, all my beautiful Pisces babies, leave a ghost emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you received the second, even more personalized part of your prediction and that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up while you're down there to let me and others know that you appreciate putting together your own private tarot card readings right here on my channel. I'd like to thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions.